Good evening, everybody, and a very warm welcome to our second special event on the F1 games. This is EA Sports F1 Creator Series, and it's not an individual event this time. It is a team event, 10 versus 10, red versus blue, Alex Gillen versus Team McMurdoch, where the drivers have to work as a team. That is very important. My name is Jess Ball, one of your commentators for this evening's event, and joining me to my right is Josh Richards. Josh, how you doing?
I'm doing really well. Looking forward to tonight. It's going to be interesting, I think. Just seeing how the dynamic of the teamwork plays out. It's not something we're entirely used to, and I think it's going to be something interesting to see how the drivers are adjusting.
Yes, because of course, individual points don't matter. It's all based on team points and how far you can get your team into the top 10. More about the format as it goes. But first of all, let's introduce the drivers that are going to be competing in today's event. Of course, we know two of our drivers. They're your team captains. Team Blue, captained by Team McMurdoch, Benjamin Daly himself. He has chosen these drivers to join him for this evening's event. Of course, we've got Meraki Karim 70. They have won Creator Series champions in the past. They want the big dogs. Of course, we've got Matty D13, Adam Sanders, who was meant to be racing. So Matty D13 is replacing him in his place. We've got Chris, that guy Vince. Dark Viper is a late sub, so he is joined at the very last minute. Thank you, Dark Viper. And we got Scotty Designs, by the way. And we also got King Cryptics and Nick Flies. And in Team Red side for Alex Gillen, we have got the reigning Creator Series champion, Lonnie Noba, followed by his Constructors champion teammate, Ricky O'Free. We've got Fimex joining alongside him, the first ever Creator Series champion of Safso. We've got Concept 7, Davide DeCipo, we got Chappers, we got Blue Fox, and we have got Jakey. Now, this is going to be very interesting, Josh, to see who's going to be made of the right stuff near the front and who's going to play some team tactics on the back. Who do you think had the strongest lineup out of the two teams, Josh?
It's a tough one to say, really. I think heading into this, if I had to pick a favourite, I would go with Team Blue. But it's not entirely about who has the fastest driver up at the front, because you're picking up the same number of points for first as you are for 10th. It's all about just having the most possible cars in the top 10 once you reach the checker flag. So, yeah, ultimately, even if you do have, say, one extra faster driver, it may turn out that you can make it up at the lower end of the points and gain those points back.
Yeah, and speaking of points, this is how the points are going to work. So we have got 4 races. We've got 4 rounds, 4 different tracks. We're going to be starting off with Spa-Francorchamps, a 25% race, and that is the only race that's going to be a one-shot qualifying to decide the grid. Every other race is going to be the race beforehand, reverse grid order. So round 2 at Silverstone is going to be decided by the reverse order round 1 Spa, unless they get disqualified. If they get disqualified, they'll be put to the back. So we got Spa, Silverstone and Vegas. There are the 3 25% races. And then we're ending at the finale under the lights in Jeddah, a 50% race where extra points are on offer there. More of that in a minute. So 2 historic tracks plus 2 quite new tracks, which are quite chaotic. That's what we need in Creator Series, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, Spa and Silverstone, they're tracks where you're usually able to make lots and lots of overtakes. And then with the walls so close in Vegas and Jeddah, I think it's going to be interesting to see how things play out, especially with drivers maybe trying to back the pack up to help their teammates potentially, trying to use their cars to block other cars in maybe. We're going to see lots and lots of team tactics throughout this one, I think. And it's going to be interesting to see what the drivers come up with.
Yeah, apparently the drivers have come up with strategies already. Of course, it's hard if you joined pretty much late into the proceeding, like Dark Viper. It was like quarter 2 and Dark Viper saw space and he was going to race. But everyone else has a rough idea of what they're supposed to do. And they're not going to be running the F1 cars. They'll be running the F1 World Cars multiplayer livery. So we can actually tell who's in what car, which makes things a lot easier. So per car in each team, the top 10 will receive a point each. So if they're outside the top 10, they don't get points. So if you have teammates outside the top 10 and you're near the front, I wonder how are the fast drivers going to try and get the slower drivers to get in the top 10, because that's where the points matter at the end of the day. And 2 points are on offer for the final round, whereas 1 point is on offer each for the first 3 rounds. So how are the faster drivers going to bring the slower drivers into the top 10?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, as there is no extra points for finishing first, second, third compared to 8th, 9th, 10th, you can just slow down a bit, back the pack up, and create a bit of chaos and maybe make an opportunity for an overtake. If that gives your drivers a chance to get back into the points, that is a net gain of points. So yeah, it's going to be something that drivers are going to be watching out for, I think.
Yeah, when we're not going to be looking at stats on who we think might win this one. We may see different winners to try and get their name in the lights for the very first time, or we might see people causing a bit of chaos at the back just to try and block people. You're not allowed to do that in a Creator Series usually, but in this event, it's a team event, so you could do all you want. So I would expect to see, I think we are probably going to lose our voices by the end of this one, Josh, to see how that's going to fare out. But Spa-Francorchamps is first, 1950s. This track was set out, of course, the longest track on the calendar. This track requires a lot of low downforce, so I would expect a lot of drivers to run low wings, but there will be quite a few drivers that might want to run higher wings to try and hold people up in the corners. But low downforce is the way to go. If you don't run low downforce, you're probably going to be a sitting duck in a straight line.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be something really important, is overtaking is going to be key in this. You've got to make sure you can fight your way through, especially with reverse grids coming to play for races 2, 3, and 4. You've got to be able to make sure you can make those overtakes. It doesn't matter how fast you can go through the corners if you aren't actually able to get past them on the straights. But yes, Spa is quite a difficult one because that middle sector is so demanding for the aero, and you just can't carry the downforce for it, really.
Yeah, I've driven Spa many times, and with 0-0 wings, the middle sector is an absolute nightmare. So that's why sometimes I tend to run a bit higher. But we will expect to see, I think, a few drivers running 0-0. Then we go to somewhere like Silverstone, where it's sort of low wings as well. Pretty much all the tracks this evening, most of the tracks, they require low downforce and able to get the car in a straight line. Silverstone, you used to run higher wings, but every single track this evening, it's low downforce. So it's kind of like a low downforce team event, as it were. So people may do well in Spa, people may expect to do well in some other tracks as well. But we'll see what happens, Josh.
Yeah, I was just thinking after you've mentioned that, I think every single one of my my setups for these tracks would use 0 rear wing. Just shows how low the wings are going to be here, and it's going to make things interesting with DRS as well for overtaking. But yeah, I think it's going to be a very exciting one.
Of course, we've got Eau Rouge and Raidillon. That is where we're going to start to see, I think, the lower wings come into effect. A lot of courage, a lot of skill. I think we could see a lot of more ambitious moves. But Pouhon, like you were saying, the middle sector, that requires a lot of aerodynamic grip in the car. Blanchiment, that is where we're going to see the most power as well. And there will be some cheeky ERS strategies. How will they manage the ERS in terms of being a team event? They may not do it the same as an individual event as well. And we would like your thoughts in the chat. Who do you think is going to be winning this one? Which team are you supporting? If you're watching on Twitch or if you're watching on YouTube, welcome along. Let us know who you're rooting for in the chat. Are you rooting for Team Blue, for Team Marduk, or are you rooting for Team Red of Alex Ginn? And obviously rivals for many, many years in Creator Series. Of course, we had to bring these two back, of course. And they had plenty of drama over the years as well. I wonder if we're going to see them both on track fighting side by side. If that doesn't happen, then I would cry, really, to be honest. But they're going to be more focused about working together as a team rather than fighting each other. But we'll see what happens in that regards. But I think, what do you think are the strengths with Ben and Alex in this event? They got to think about the team rather than themselves, really. But surely we got to see them two fight against each other at some point.
I think with those two on the track in an event where you're naturally going to be battling, I think it's inevitable that we're going to see those two at least battling together on the track. And I think there's quite a high likelihood that we might see a little bit of contact between them as well, as we have done in the past. But yeah, with how these lineups stack up, I think ultimately we're going to see quite a few drivers backing up a little bit at the front and just creating a lot of chaos.
So the drivers have been told to ready up. So hopefully we should be getting underway very, very shortly, ladies and gentlemen, for the first team event In a while, actually, it'll be Team Blue versus Team Red, and it will be one-shot qualifying to decide this Spa grid. And this is going to be important because one-shot qualifying in any race is important. We're used to short qualifying and full qualifying in the Creator Series gone by, but for one-shot qualifying, for those of you that are new to the F1 games, that you only get one shot. If you invalidate, that's it. You're going to be starting at the back. Or will there be some people, like the fast drivers, that want to try and start near the back for fun? We've seen that in Creator Series gone by as well. Well, what do you think some of the drivers will do? Because for some people, they want to be near the front to get the best lap possible. But it is Creator Series. There'll be certain people that will be purposely trying to start at the back to avoid the chaos into turn one.
Yeah, I mean, obviously avoiding the chaos is going to be something that drivers are watching out for, but equally, you're going to naturally put yourself at a bit of a disadvantage when you've got all the faster drivers up at the front. If you end up at the back, you've got a lot more overtaking to try and secure your point for that race. So yeah, gonna be something to watch out for, I think, whether anybody does try some interesting strategies. But yeah, Spa gonna be a very exciting circuit and quite a long track as well, so plenty of time for you to make or break your lap.
Yeah, and plenty of opportunities for drivers to hold each other up as well, because as a reminder, it's not an individual event. You'll get the same point if you finish in first than if you finish in 10th. So it's not about winning, it's about trying to get as many drivers in your team inside the top 10 as possible, because that's where the points are won, not just because you finished first. So we might, again, like I was saying earlier, we may see a different driver than you expect finishing near the front, and then if you get as many cars as you can in the top 10, then you're going to get as more points. And then we head to the final round in Jeddah. 2 points are on offer for that one. So it looks like quite an overcast day here at Spa-Francorchamps and the Ardennes Forest. Who knows? We may see some rain on the horizon with the dark clouds forming, but anything can happen around Spa-Francorchamps. And the countdown has gone to 0, hopefully. Oh, no, it's buzzed up again. Never mind. But who's your pick a poll for Spa, Josh?
I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with Karim. He's always been one of the faster drivers, and I think he's going to be able to hook a lap up here together. He does a bit of league racing from time to time, lots of open lobbies. So yeah, I think he's going to have his eye in a little bit for the track. But yeah, let's see, as we will be heading out to the track in just a few moments.
Well, my pick is Lonnie Noba. He has done well in this track before. And let's go on board with Team Red of Concept 7 as he takes us round into La Source. Brake hard into third gear, fourth gear, up through the gears. Aim as far to the right-hand side as you possibly can as you enter Rouge. Flat out through here in the dry. And now that's when the ERS can be deployed and the DRS is activated. This is where we could see quite a lot of overtakes as we now enter into Les Combes now. Our team captain of Alex Gillen is now on top of one-shot qualifying, so we'll stay on board with him as he makes his way towards Brussels. Very comfortable now as we enter this very understeery part of the lap. Keeper's car is tight to that curb as much as possible. Flat out in fifth gear through there. You can't carry as much speed as you possibly can into Pool. And as Josh was saying earlier, this is the part where you would need that downforce. Try to compromise the lower downforce to have a little bit as high wings as you possibly can. But otherwise, you'll be about quite a few drivers invalidated already or purposely starting at the back of the grid. Now we're heading towards Paul Frere for the Team Red drive. Looks like they're on top at the moment, but we got quite a few Team Blues now at the front as well. Quite a few people switching positions of left, right and centre, but Ricky O'Free, of course, he's used to Ferrari colours, so Team Red suits him to a T here in the F1 Creator Series. His teammate Lonnie Noba's dropped down into 13th place, but into the bus stop chicane. Nicely done through there, but on our pole position, just as Josh has predicted, it's like as Josh can read everyone's mind. It's Karim 70. He's on pole for the first race in Red versus Blue. So at the moment, it is Team Blue on top, but they don't get any points for qualifying is how they do in the race. So here's your grid then for race 1. So Kareem 17 for Team Red in P1. We got Alex Gillen in P2 for Team Red. Then we got an all Team Blue 3rd, 4th and 5th for Chris, Team McMardock and that guy Vince. And then we got some more Team Reds of Ricky O3, Fimex and Concept 7. Scotty Designs, by the way, in 9th for Team Blue. And then we got a Team Red affair of Chappers in P10 and Ollie Noble in P11. Then we got Nick Fly, Safso, Matty D13, Dark Viper, Blue Fox, Cryptic, Jakey, and then we got Meraki and Davide did not set a lap time. I was surprised, Josh. I thought more people would have purposely started at the back. I'm guessing for a lot of these drivers, they think qualifying's important.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in this first race, you want to try and keep your cars near the top 10. Obviously, you don't want to give yourself any extra work. I think something we haven't talked about as well heading into these races is the strategy. It's, of course, we still have mandatory pit stops to be made, one mandatory pit stop in these races. So it's going to be something the drivers have to focus on, maybe going for an undercut to try and get yourself up further up the grid for the end of the race.
Yes, of course, like I was saying earlier, 25% race for the first 3 races. We could have medium hard, medium soft. They could go either way, or if they want to, I know some people could try the Rainbow Tyre Challenge potentially to hold people up. They could go as crazy as they want, as long as they do a 1-stop race. That is absolutely fine, but nothing's stopping them from doing 2 stops. Usually, it gives us an idea of the driver's strategies, but all we can see is colours. But we got the formation lap, so we do have a chance to see people's tyres, and as we're seeing some people spinning already. Formation lap drama already in the Creator Series, and most of them are from Team Blue. So Team McMardock, you need to get your teammates into check, my friend. But everybody inside the top 10, starting on soft, apart from Alex Gillen on the mediums. And then we got Dark Viper for Team McMardock's team on the mediums as well in 15th. And Meraki in 19th. Starting on the hard. I'm liking that strat for Meraki. Probably he started at the back for a reason, because he wants to make sure that no one on the soft tyres has a bit of a sniff. Yes, the hards are going to be a nightmare to heat up, and now it's going to be even more of a nightmare to heat up, just because he's just been disqualified for the formation lap.
Yeah, it's going to give him a chance to make that recovery later on. It's going to be difficult to make the overtakes when you're on the same tyres, so he can give himself that tyre advantage for the end of the race. He knows he'll be worst case scenario on the medium tyres with the soft runners at the moment, but he's going to have much better tyres because he can run long into the race. It's interesting to see Alex Gillen up at the front as well, going for the medium tyre when pretty much everybody around him opting for the soft. Whether he's going to do the medium hard or a medium soft, I think it's going to be really interesting, because also we don't know if the soft runners are going to do soft medium or soft hard. I think this is going to be a very interesting one strategically.
Yes, and we do see quite a lot of drivers already on the grid. Their tyres are going to be cold, but I wonder if there's going to be people tactically at the back going very slowly on the formation lap. I might be giving them ideas here, so if it happens in the other 3 races as well, you're welcome. But I wonder if there'll be some people going tactically slowly just to make sure the other tyres go cold, as I thought that was going to be the case for Kareem, but it's not. But yeah, there's still people already on the grid for the formation lap, but there'll probably be people trying to go as slow as they can to make sure their rivals are going to be on the cold tyres. I see 2 blues are the last people on the grid, so I wonder if they were going to go tactically slowly. I don't think they are. So maybe I'll probably just give them an idea for the second race. So you're welcome.
Yeah, so 1 or 2 more people, I think, just heading backwards now like Karim did, just resetting the tyre wear for the start of the race. They want to have the best possible tyres available for them, but any second now the lights should be coming on.
Here we go then. The first race for 10v10 is about to commence in the Creator Series. Alex Gillen versus Team McMardock. Red versus blue. Who's going to come out on top in the first race? Let's find out. And it's go here in the Creator Series. As we already got someone that's got down sandwich already, but Kareem's had a good start in towards turn 1. Team at Martha's made up a few places, so is Chris as well. So at the moment, looking good for a lot of the Team Blue drivers as they make their way towards El Rouge. Alex Gillen's in a Team Blue sandwich. That's probably not what he would have wanted, but his first chance is to make sure he can get a lot of his red compatriots near the front with him. But first of all, he's going to try and get past Kareem 70 around the outside into Lecom. It's going to be quite difficult, but they almost been pushed off the road. But it's a good race between the two of them. A lot of them got squirmy on the exit of Lecom there. But Alex Gillen in the lead, but most of his rivals are outside. Oh, he's had a spin. Never mind. Commentator's curse from my good self. But Team Blue at the moment doing good so far. 4 cars in the top 5.
Yeah, but crucially, it's about the cars further down the field as well. You've got to make sure you've got the majority of your cars up at the front as cars battling side by side as they head into Pillon, as we're watching right now with Tiamat Marduk, who's up to 4th on this race start. A decent start to the race for him. Ricky looking to put some pressure on that guy Vince as Nick flies. Currently, the driver sat in 10th. The one who is kind of make or breaking. If he loses that position, it's an extra point heading the way of the red team here. But as it stands, he holds that position. I think we've got 6 blue team in the top 10 and 4 red team as it stands. So at the moment, as we come towards the end of lap 1, things looking in favour for the blue team.
It seems to me they have a strategy at the moment, and you were saying that Team Blue could be the favourite to win this one. And Scotty Designs, by the way, yes, this is normal. He's in the top 8. Probably not what you're expecting, but it's a team event, for goodness sake. But he's under pressure from a lot of the red team cars, so he's got to get a move on here. Maybe try and help a lot of the other blue cars near the back try and get into the points paying position. But Copsec 7 trying to gain a spot from Scotty Designs, by the way. I think there's some of the red cars trying to get their drivers near the top 10 as much as they possibly can. We got one red car in the wars. Jakey, he's in the pits, but it might be tactical as he tries to make his way through. Alex Gillen takes the lead once more, but like I say, it's not about if you're leading, it's about if you get the most cars in the top 10. So he makes the move, but crucially, he's got Karim, Chris, Tima Marduk, and that guy Vince chasing him down. Scotty Designs may have lost some ground being 7th, but that's still going to get him to points that he needs to. As Karim 17 wraps the outside in towards No Name now. He keeps his car planted in the right places. Alex Gillen just holds on, and Karim 17, your pole sitter, is leading this race. And I wonder if we're going to start to see some tactics now. Look at this. This is great stuff.
Yeah, there's a big queue of red cars right at the bottom end of the top 10, all queuing up to try and find themselves a spot. They're going to have to make some overtakes as here Blue Fox looking to try and find a way through as they head in towards Piff Path. Gillen and Karim still swapping positions up at the front of the field as well as they make their way on towards the back straight. Karim holding onto that one. We've got some yellow flags out further behind as well. I think that's another red car coming into the wall, so not been the greatest of starts for the red team as now Chris finds his way through in towards Blanchimont, looking to try and challenge his teammate as well. These two battling for the lead of this race in towards the bus stop. Looks like Chris will settle in behind Ricky. A big crash through Blanchimont. He's out of the race. The safety car has come out, and that is not going to be great news for Alex Gillen, who started on the medium tyres. All of the cars diving into the pit lane. This is going to be absolute chaos. The car getting caught on the pit wall there. No one's going to know who their teammate is. There's going to be double stacks up and down the field. This is going to be absolute chaos.
That's one thing we didn't mention. Because the drivers are racing F1 World Cars, they don't know who their teammate is, and that's going to be different race after race in terms of teammate, in terms of who they share a pit box with. And that is the danger. And we're already starting to see Team Red falling by the race side with Ricky O'Free out. And what's happened there to the safety car? That was a bit of a nightmare there. But yeah, Ricky unfortunately has crashed, so it's out of this one. We're getting penalties left, right and centre with collisions, and people tried to overtake the safety car, but obviously they're near the front. But interestingly, some people have chosen to stay out and some people have gone into the pits. I wonder how that's going to fare. Of course, Alex Gillen had no choice but to stay out, it looks like. But quite a few penalties already. They'll probably have to serve it or pretty much keep it in their back pocket until the end of this race. I think we've got about 5 or 6 cars who have 10-second penalties. So this could be the chance for people to go into the pits this early on and get their 10 seconds removed. They got to, because otherwise it'll get added in the end of the race. And again, it's about points inside the top 10. So if you lose out just because you got a 10-second penalty, that's going to hinder your team rather than help. So I think that it was a bit unfortunate, yes, about that penalty, but you could see people have made those stops already. The only ones that haven't are Alex Gillen and Chris in P1 and P2. Maybe the strategy for those two to stay out. Alex Gillen, I think, had no choice, but Chris, he's been on those softs for 2 laps. He thinks he could hold the red guys up by just staying out there.
Not too sure what's going on with King Cryptic there. Looks like he might be having a couple of game issues. Still says he's in the pits as he's making his way towards Lake On there. But yeah, 6 drivers with penalties here. Hard tyres should comfortably go to the end. Mediums going to be a little bit warm, but they should be able to make it to the end as well. Gillen and Chris going to be in a bit of a pickle here. I expect we might see them coming into the pits, to be honest, because you're going to end up so far behind with so many overtakes to make as well, and having virtually the same tyre wear as your rivals around you as well. It is best case scenario for those who have made it to the pits, changed their tyres and didn't pick up a penalty as well. Yeah, I think we're going to see quite a few more drivers making their way back into the pit lane here as well. Just a reminder for those who are just joining us now, the point system for you here. Everybody who is in the top 10 will pick up 1 point. It's the team totals at the end of this that are going to be the most important thing. Double points for the final race as well. And here we can see lots of those drivers with those time penalties peeling their way back into the pit lane. So that's going to shake up the order once again. Just doing a quick count, I think we've got 5 red and 5 blue in the top 10. So after 4 laps of racing, a crash and a safety car, everything is completely equal.
Yes, Chaos, what do you expect in the F1 creator series? I did see King Cryptic has left the session, so hopefully this won't hinder him too much, but it'll be a bit unfortunate if he can't get back, or his car can't get back racing. But we have got not that long to go until the end of this race. Yes, we've done 4 laps, and we got 50% of this race still to go. Very soon. Luckily, everyone who just pitted has made their way out onto the track. So luckily they weren't stuck like King Cryptic was at the moment. I believe King Cryptic will be lapped, which is not ideal. So hopefully there might be a gentleman's agreement to maybe try let the lapped cars through. I think that's always been tradition in creative series to do that. So fingers crossed they will be able to do that. Yes, they may be on a different team, but no, not a lap down. That's good news. So he's going to try and make his way to the back of the pack. Who do you think has gained the most out of this situation? Because we got some drivers that are pitted, but I could see some people that may have pitted like on lap 1 that could cause a bit of chaos. Jakey, for example, started last near the back, and he's up into 12th place just because he made that pit stop early on with that undercut. Maybe he could cause some drama to make sure none of the blue team can stand in their way.
Yeah, I mean, the front of this field is going to be interesting. As it stands, Scotty is up to P3, not sure what is going on there. Jakey and Nick Price making a bit of contact. Hopefully that's not going to give them another 10-second penalty, as we have got confirmation that the safety car is in this lap. So unfortunately for King Crypt, it doesn't look like he will be able to catch back up. But once Alex Gillen makes his pit stop, you've got Karim, Vince and Scotty, all the top 3 drivers. And the driver who will be replacing Gillen in the top 10 is Tiamat Marduk, another blue team driver. So as it stands, I think it is very much advantage blue team here.
It is advantage blue team, but anything can happen in this event. We still, of course, got 3 more races to go, and we've still got plenty of laps to go in this race, according to everybody. So let's know in a live chat who you're rooting for as we're about to get underway for the next few laps of racing. And for the second time tonight, Alex Gillen leads the way in towards the final corner. We did see a Team Red driver going into the runoff area in towards the bus stop, but Alex Gillen leads for Karim 17 second, and Safso trying to go for a lunge in towards that source. That'll be great if that can make it work, but I don't think he's going to make that one stick, but you never know. Yes, it does make that stick. Safso through into P3, but Scotty Designs, by the way, is not going to give this one up in 4th place. He probably potentially could try and get past Safso to get 2 blue cars in the top 2. That guy Vince trying to hold up Chappers to make sure more blue cars get in there as well. So 2 blue cars doing very well to try and get past their red team compatriots. Oh, we got Scotty Designs that's almost gone a bit wide, but he's got past Safso up into 3rd place, but Safso's going to fight back. No way you're going to have that position, Sunshine Scotty. I want that position. Round the outside once more goes Safso. Safso's through, and Scotty Designs in the wall. That's not good if you're Team Blue. but he is down into P9, P10, and that could be an extra point for the red team. Yes, it is as Davide makes his way through to 10th. That is disaster if you're blue at the moment, but good news if you're red. It's a silver lining after all, Josh.
Yeah, 5 blues, 5 reds in the top 10 once again. Back to that sweet balance, but Lolanova Concept 7, 11th and 12th, lining up to try and find their way into the top 10. Could be looking to spoil the party for the blue team very soon. Of course, remember, Alex Gillen still yet to make his pit stop, the only driver without his mandatory pit stop completed as we make our way through. Karim retaking that race lead down in towards the bus stop chicane. We watch here this battle between the two reds. We've got a blue car getting in on it as well. Another yellow flag out. That is Jakey, who once again is into some trouble as Safso and that guy Vince swapping positions through the final few corners. Let's see who comes out on top. Safso getting the power down better and looking like he's going to challenge Karim here towards turn 1. Too wide. Back to back we head and into towards for turn 1. Safso looks at the inside, diving past Gillen to take that position. Karim looking to try and challenge on the exit, and I think now we might be starting to see some team games coming into play. Drivers starting to back up, trying to put some pressure on side-by-side. Chappers and Vince up through Eau Rouge and Raddy, on they go. Just about make that one work. Very, very brave to be making a move through there.
This is what we want to see from Team Red. They were struggling at the start of this race, but now they've got more red cars in the top 10 than Team Blue. Maybe they were just waiting for Team Blue to have their moment and for Team Red just to have their moment in the sun. This is the great news if you're Alex Gillen. They're probably staying out for a good reason to try and get your cars nearby. Safso's in the lead. He could just pull away, but you can see Alex Gillen is holding the blue drivers up, and he's going to try and make sure the red drivers can have a fight with that guy Vince. This is amazing stuff. Chappers up to 4th. You wouldn't see that in a Creator Series race, but you see that in a team event. But Vince is going to fight back. We got Karim 17 right in front behind this as well. This is really, really great to see teamwork at its finest in the F1 Creator Series. At the moment, we thought it was going to go in the way of Team Blue, but now it looks like it's going to go in the way of Team Red. But anything can happen with these last 5 laps of this race. Safso leading, but Alex Gillen, you're still yet to pit, making sure the blue guys don't have a sniff. And oh no, Chappers are disconnected. This is not good for Team Red, Josh.
Yeah, that is really unfortunate. Gillen just parking the bus. He's doing everything he can, mathematically really out of this race, and having not pitted under that safety car but kept the track position and just causing chaos for the blue team up at the front of the field. Vince is now through. Gillen might try and fight back though down the Kemmel straight. We'll have to wait and see if he can get close enough. Safso over 2 seconds clear of the front. So I think that was Ben diving down the inside, and that was Nick Flies I think as well on blue blocks, getting through in towards the first corner. Really unfortunate stuff for Chappers, and it is going to allow another blue car into the top 10 as well. So things may be starting to swing once again back in the favor of the blue team. Things really shifting as we make our way through these races. Quite a close grid though, competitive. It's always been only 1 or 2 points separating them, as here comes Alex Gillen back through on Vince, retaking that position at the lead of this train, and once again it's going to set his sights on backing this pack up as further back as well. Still side by side, Blue Fox and Nick Flies fighting through Laycom. Nick Flies managed to get that position, get himself through up into P5. Jappa's able to rejoin the session, but as it stands in P11, if he can get control of his car quickly, could still have a shot at getting himself back into that top 10.
To be fair, he's still within DRS range of Chris in P10, so it's still not over for Chappers, and that's the benefit. If you see your one of your drivers in your team maybe having a moment disconnecting, maybe you could tell the drivers nearby just to hold each other up a little bit, just to get Chappers back in the fight. We got time penalties from Davide and Matty D13, and now Chappers is back in this fight. This is going to allow him the chance to get back in the top 10 again. Don't forget, anyone outside the top 10 are not going to get points in their team. The one who wins the race will get the same amount of points as if you're finishing in 10th. As long as you're on the top 10, you'll get 1 point for your team. It's more important that if you're in the top 10 rather than if you win the race. Some people may want the glory points, but this is a team event. Team Red run by Alex Gillen, as there's been a bit of a slide there from one of the Team Blue cars. And then we got Team Blue run by Benjamin Daly, of course, Mr. T. McMurdoch. there alongside. And now Chappers is being brought back into the picture. He's winning DRS Ranger. Chris, this is going to be exciting, but we're now starting to see the blue cars go into the picture at this point. We thought it was going to be Team Red. Now it's Team Blue again. We don't know how it's going to end, but we know that this is going to be a fight between Blue versus Red. Who's going to come out on top? And we know the Team Blue cars are working together quite nicely to make sure Alex Gillen doesn't have a sniff once more. Round the outside goes Alex Gillen in towards Calm. This is now bites up as a Team Blue car is into the gravel trap, Josh.
Yeah, unfortunate stuff. Just ran out of road on the exit there. As a car is all that, the red car, surely that's going to be out of contention. That was big damage, and the safety car has been deployed. They're still in the race. Yeah, Blue Fox tumbling down the order. This is going to give Gillen a chance to get right back into this race. Surely we're going to see some pit stops coming once again, and soft tyres coming into play for a 2-lap shootout to finish things off here in Spa.
My oh my, another safety car, and you know what? This has helped Alex Gillen massively because he has not pitted yet. He's the only driver to not make that pit stop, and he could just go on those soft tyres like everybody else and stay in P2. Yes, the position may not matter, but as long as you're in the top 10, that matters. But that's going to help in terms of pride for the red team, and that's going to help in terms of strategy for the red team as well. So he's probably going to be loving this, but we got more penalties from Molyneux, but he's probably going to have to serve that. But my pick for the win is down in 10th place, so commentators curse there. So with another safety car, that's going to bunch the field once more. A bit more chaos to end this one, and the laps that happened beforehand, not going to matter now. It's about these last few laps now. Sasso is in. Everyone must come in, but there might be some people that want to hold each other up again and might stay out on the medium tires, and they are. It's like I can read people's mind. We got some Team Blue members that are staying out on those medium tires. Oh, I love this. There's people strategically trying to hold people up in this 10v10 event. We thought more people were going to go out onto softs, but we have 4 drivers choosing to stay out to help their team members. 3 of them are Team Blue, Josh.
Yeah, and that's going to be a bit worrying, I think, for them, because if we look, it's now 5 red, 5 blue once again in the top 10, but you've got so many of the Team Red outside the top 10 lining up on fresh tyres who are going to be ready to pounce and try and take those position away from those 3 Team Blues who have stayed out right at the front. The top 3, all Team Blue on the old tyres. They aren't going to be 2-1, but that tyre advantage is going to be present. So yeah, going to be crucial for these guys to try and make the moves as quick as possible. Those soft tyres are going to be absolutely rapid, probably upwards of about a second a lap faster, I'd say, at this stage of the race. So yeah, just going to come down to whether they can make the overtakes fast enough. Remember as well, the next 2 drivers outside the top 10 lining up are both Team Blue drivers. So they're going to be the next ones ready to take those positions. That could be an advantage. Just Gillen and Ben playing a couple of games under the safety car, I think.
I absolutely love it. They're doing it on purpose, of course. You could tell they want to cause some carnage. It is a 10v10 event. Of course, it's not a regular F1 Creator Series race where you get extra points if you're like leading or anything like that. They want to get their teammates into play, and Alex and Team Armada want to cause a bit of drama. They are the team captains after all. They've been rivals for many years, and if they were going to cause carnage or drama in this event, then there's no point having this event. The safety car is in this lap. Then Nick Flies will be the one setting the pace, and this is going to be crucial for all 3 Team Blue member cars. They got to make sure they stay ahead and bring their blue members with them. We got Chris in 6th. They stayed out as well. The blue member that's pitted on the freshest softs, who was quicker, is Team McMahon. Then we got Dart Viper in 11th, Meraki in 12th. Then we got Matty D13 in 16th. But then we got a lot of the red cars nearby as well. So grab your popcorn, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to get underway for one final time here in race 1 at Spa-Francorchamps, and Nick Flies leads the field away. And look at what Kareem 17 has done. He's holding the field up in this safety car restart. This is allowed, and that's allowed Nick Flies and that guy Vince to prance away at the front. And Kareem 17, he's a sitting duck on the straight there. Sasso just passed on the soft, so it's going to be hard for Sasso to try and close in now. But Kareem 70, at least he's done a job to make sure that the red cars are going to find it difficult to close in on the blue cars at the front. Good stuff from Karim there, Josh.
Yeah, but he's going to fight back now as we head towards Lake Com. Looking to the outside, to the inside, looking back to the outside, almost contact as they hit the brakes there. Deep goes Safso on the soft compound tyres. Can Karim try and fight back now? Doesn't seem like he has the grip. Concept 7, who's also on those older tyres, right on the back of the blue car now as they look to the inside in towards turn 8, further behind. Tiamat Marduk on the fresh soft compound tyres, trying to fight his way through. Up into 8th place, side by side with Chris now. Through No Name Corner, gets himself through up into 7th, right onto the back of Alex Gillen, who's now going to be fighting with the other team captain as well. If we look in that top 6, there's 3 red, 3 blue, so pretty much even up there. It's all going to come down to these final 4 positions in the points if it continues on like this, and they are battling hard. 3 red cars queued up, looking to try and take places away from Chris, Meraki, Tiamat Marduk, who are at that bottom end of the points. But it's all going to come down to these tyres. Who can hang on with those old tyres? Who can make the moves on the fresh tyres?
And who could be ambitious? If you are getting held up by a rival team, you've got to be going for moves, because if you just stay behind a car, then you're going to lose time to try and even close up to the cars around you to try and get more cars in the point. So we got Concept 7. He's got to be very brave, and he almost ended his race there as he goes through the bus stop chicane, as there's a lot of banging pain there towards the final corner as we're about to start the final lap of this race. Don't forget, you only score points if you're in the top 10, and it is 1 point each. Everyone in the top 10 gets the same amount of points. We got Nick Flife and that guy Vince, Team Blue in P1 and P2. There we got Safso and Concept 7, P3 and P4. But look at what Kareem 17 is doing. He is bringing more of his blue cars into the fray now. This is great stuff. Vince and Nick Flife swapping positions to try and make sure they get a bit of DRS off each other to stop Safso. We can see what Team Blue are doing right now. This is even Stevens on the final lap, Josh. This is amazing.
In towards Lake Com, 2 by 2 by 2 as the positions are swapping up and down the field. I think at the moment advantage is towards blue team. They've got more cars in the top 10 at the moment, but things going to be so close. It's almost one of the red cars losing the rear end as they got onto the curb there. Chappers and Chris battling. This is for 8th and 9th. Blue cars queuing up behind as well, ready to take these positions away as we make our way through No Name Corner. Still side by side, they run down towards Pilon now, and yeah, you can see all the blue cars with 3 wide heading in towards the left-hander. Just about Tiamat Marduk able to find his way through. I think hanging the red car out wide, though, that could give a chance for these 3 to try and get in on this battle as well. It's the final lap here at the Circuit Spa Francorchamps. Wide goes Chris, and that allows another red car through on towards the gravel there again. Banging wheels, Chappers almost losing the car as we make our way through on towards the back straight, the home run towards finishing this race. Can they make the positions up in these final laps? Try and get the positions as they run towards line 3 blue cars. We're almost 4 wide as we head towards Blanchimont. Contact being made. Chappers losing positions on the run towards the line, dropping outside of the points. But that guy Vince will win here in Spa as we head, and it's absolute chaos. 3 wide in towards the bus stop. Who is going to pick up these points? It's absolute chaos.
Oh my God.
With a penalty. This is amazing stuff. As we run towards the line. 4 wide. 5 cars. I don't know how many wide. We're coming across the line, and the blue team have somehow gotten almost all of their cars into the top 10 in the tying stages. It's 7 points the way of blue and 3 points the way of red.
This is amazing now. Both of us couldn't stop laughing. Even our producer couldn't stop laughing as well. They had to do something to get all their cars in, and they did it. I don't think anyone else would have predicted that, but they planned that strategy, and it's going the way of Team Blue. That is just incredible. Do you know that what reminds me of the race to 10th? Many creators have done like race to 10th. I've done race to 10th many times where you just want to just finish in 10th spot. And I think that's exactly what they've done. So I'm just counting the amount of cars we've got from each team in the top 10. So for Team Blue, Tiamat Marduk's team, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars in the top 10 for Team Blue. And for Team Red, we got 1, 2, 3 cars in the top 10. So if my math is correct, I know Josh is going to do the stats behind the scenes. It's 7 points to Tiamat Marduk's team of Team Blue and 3 to Team Red. So the strategy worked in favour of Team Blue this time. So that is your order from first down to 20th. And I think... gutted that the formation lap was off, but right decision, I think, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, it's only a 25% race at the end of the day. It doesn't add that much. It just saves a couple of minutes for us and lets us get straight into the action. We're now looking at the pit lane here in Silverstone, getting ourselves ready for what will be a 13-lap race, if my memory serves me correctly. Yeah, going to be an interesting one here as well, of course, as we've already mentioned. Tyre wear, pit lane length, dirty air, all going to come together to give us some very interesting strategy. And I think, once again, we're going to be seeing a lot of drivers starting on the softs, but a bit of a mixed up grid. So we are here in the pit lane in Silverstone, of course. And yeah.
Apologies, by the way, if you didn't hear us. Yeah, apologies if you didn't hear us for the last, I think it was 2 or 3 minutes or so. Our producer decided to mute the game, mute us rather than mute the game. So if you're wondering why you couldn't hear us for like 5 minutes, this is why. So we are at Silverstone, 25% race. Formation lap will be turned off for this one, just to get people to have the same tyre temperature and everything. Tyre wear is going to be a massive factor, with 7% tyre wear per lap on the soft tyres, less compared to obviously the mediums and the hard tyres. And points are awarded based on if a car finishes inside the top 10. Red versus blue. We'll go to more detail in a minute. We're about to get underway then for race 2 here at Silverstone. We've got Team Red front row, and it is action here at Silverstone. And we got Lonnie Noba that leads in towards turn 1 with Ricky O'Free in second, all starting on the soft tyres in the top 9, apart from Alex Gillen, as you would expect, in towards Village now, in towards turn number 3, and we're already seeing something very clean racing. Oh, no, we're not. Never mind. Someone has gone into a spin in towards the loop there, which is not ideal. And that is a Team Red car. So not ideal if you're Safso there. But we've got Lonnie that leads, Ricky O'Free in second, King Pitts in third. And now the slower drivers near the back, or near the front of the grid. Now they've got to see how they could do near the front there. But I think I know Lonnie and Ricky, they probably got something up their sleeve as they make their way towards Bookcoat now.
Yeah, let's see then, couple cars closing in, heading towards Cops Corner. Is anybody going to be brave enough for a look? We've got 2 Team Blue cars side by side. Meraki trying to go around the outside of Dark Viper there. Karim and Gillen also squabbling as we head in towards Maggots and Beckett. High-speed corners, really, really risky if you want to head side by side, especially with your teammates through here. They all sort themselves out into single file by the time we reach Chapel. But as we make our way towards the end of this opening lap, Lolly Noba and Ricky holding positions. Scotty Designs and Matty swapping positions into Stowe, as are Chris and Chappers. Chris on an absolute charge from 14th on the grid, already up to 6th place, 6 positions gained. Really, really great start to the race here as Davide looking to try and find his way through into the podium positions as well, but now under pressure from Scotty Designs, by the way, as we head onto the Hamilton Straight. Here comes Scotty, towards Abbey we go, and going to look to the inside to try and take that position away, and does get it done before we even head towards the braking zone of Village here, although they're looking back to the inside. Davide still trying to apply some pressure, trying to fight this one back. We're now going to go the long way around the outside, tuck back in as we make our way in towards the loop through entry, but still not able to fight back. The traction just not there for the Team Red cars. Here we got so many cars together, battling away. 3 Team Blue cars side by side as we make our way down to the Wellington Straight here, hitting the brakes. As it stands, the red team looking to be the favourites for this race.
Looks like it at the moment, but it was a reverse grid order based on what we saw from race 1. That's why Lolly Noba and Ricky O'Free are at the front. For those of you that are unaware, it's going to be a reverse grid order of of this race for race 3, and then for race 3 it'll be reverse. Race 4 will be reverse grid order of race 3. It's confusing, but you will get it as we make our way through the races. But quite a few drivers in main positions already. But these positions are not going to stay like that, like we saw at the end of race 1. So watch this space. We've got the tyres in front of you, and majority of people are obviously on the soft tyres. Is that going to really cause a bit of issues as we head to, I think, lap 4, lap 5, where the tyre starts to degrade? Well, you're hoping for the red cars, the ones on the blue with the dirty air are going to struggle a little bit. So I've had experience. Dirty air around this track is absolutely awful, and that's probably good if you're a Team Red car near the front of the field. Scotty Designs, by the way, the first of the Team Blue cars, already out of DRS to Ricky O3, which is bad news. So what Scotty's got to do, he's got to make sure King Cryptic gets into his DRS as well. This is not working for Blue right now, but we can see Kareem 70 trying to defend from Alex Gillen and Team Armada. They're swapping pace right now in towards the Wellington straight. Dark Viper gets past Team Armada. They're probably switching positions to get some DRS, and here we go. We can see Alex Gillen around the outside of Karim 70. They've been rivals for many seasons as well. As Karim 70 has dropped a few places, that's allowed Alex Gillen to get a few places closer to where he wants to be, near his team. But a lot of blue cars are near the back, because obviously where they started, they're not making headway, unfortunately. Unless your name is Chris, down in 8th place. Great, just drop from him. They need to play some smart tactics to get their cars near the top 10 now. Meraki does exactly the same, tries to get a blue car in towards the top 10. Can they make it work? Yes, they can. Meraki is in 10th for now. That guy Vince in 11th and gets past his Concept 7, and he drops down the order. So at the moment, Team Blue's now getting back in this fight as well. Could go either way, Josh.
In towards Vale here, looking to the outside. Concept 7 not giving this one up just yet. Who have the inside line now as we make our way up towards the start-finish line. Here comes Nick Flies as well, looking to the inside through the final corner. They bang wheels. Nick Flies not able to make that one work. Thought he might have been able to find his way through up into P11 there, right onto the cusp of those points-paying positions. But in the end, he'll have to settle for 13th position for the time being. But these guys going to be battling hard all throughout this race. Those soft tyres already going to be starting to fade away a bit. And the likes of Meraki, who started on the medium tyres, is going to be absolutely loving this. He'll be able to find overtakes aplenty as we make our way into these next few laps.
Exactly. This is the point of this race where the medium tyres definitely come into their own and are faster in terms of delta. So if you're on those mediums like Meraki and Alex Gillen, bring it on. Concept 7 probably struggling as much as probably we would expect, but that's because Meraki is making sure Concept 7 doesn't have a sniff to get in to the top 10. So Concept 7 would have hoped there was a soft runner in front of him, not a medium runner. But no, it's the other way around as that guy Vince gets past Chappers. We will see pit stops very soon for the soft runners to go on to the mediums, as we can see Meraki in the background reclaiming back 10th place from Concept 7 and Chappers, and that is great to see if your name is Meraki. As Dark Viper and Karim 17 working together in the background. Round the outside into Stowe corner goes one of the red cars trying to get past, I think it was Nick Fly trying to get past Concept 7. But you can see, Josh, the soft tyre runners, they're struggling out there, as we already got one of our soft runners pitted.
Yeah, Fimex and Jayhee both coming in, both red team drivers going for that early undercut. We've got yellow flags out as well. Not too sure what the cause for that is. They have cleared up nice and quickly, but as it stands, 2 red cars going for an early undercut. Chapper's very wide off the track there as he makes his way through the first few corners. That is not ideal. The car spinning around as well. I think that was Concept 7 losing the car. So the red team all of a sudden have 5 cars in the bottom 5. That is really not going their way side by side as we head onto the Wellington straight there.
Oh!
Almost an airplane crash there as Karim backed off as he headed through entry there. That was almost a massive disaster, and there taking out the brake marker boards as well. This isn't Cyrophobia, guys. Come on, keep it on the track. Everything has very suddenly gone very, very wrong for the red team. 6 cars in the bottom 6 now. The blue team are absolutely flying away with this one.
They're playing the offense, which is what you were saying. Well, you were saying in a call with me, because nobody heard us when you were talking about the Team Blue strategies, which is probably what they were hoping for at the end of the day. Maybe it was Team Blue muting our mics to make sure Team Red doesn't have a clue of what they were planning potentially as well. This is working in their favour right now because they were starting in the back. Team Red have got to play some different strategies here because it's not working. Yes, we got Lulinova and Ricky O3 leading, but they got to bring Davide with them. They can't afford just to be DRSing each other. They got to help their slowest drivers to close in. Davide, though, goes into the pits. Meraki does the same. However, got a pit lane speeding penalty for Nick Blythe, and that is Team Blue. And that's one thing I forgot to say. Pit lane speeding penalties are quite easy to get on this game around this track. So you got to be careful you don't get one of those, because that's where you can lose some positions if there's no safety car. I'm surprised there's no safety car yet, but things could change at a drop of a hat here. To be honest, Team Blue, King Cryptic and that guy Vince doing very well switching DRS of each other to keep Blue Fox behind. Great stuff from those two.
Crucial stuff here. Fimex going one lap earlier has undercut almost all of those blue drivers who we saw on the cusp of the top 10 there. Just Meraki in front of him at the moment, who started on the medium tyres. So pitting early here is interesting to see from the Team Blue driver. Here's Sapso on the back of Karim and TMF Marduk looking to try and gain some positions. He's already up 10 as it stands, starting on the back row of the grid. Of course, still yet to make his pit stop, but going to be looking to try and fight his way through. Ben and Karim have done an excellent job in this race, holding up the likes of Gillen and Safso throughout this run. But very soon, I think, going to be seeing even more pit stops. When are we going to see our race leaders coming in? I think looking at the track map, it is going to be now. Lonova, Ricky and Scotty Designs all make their way into the pit lane now. No speeding penalties coming for them, so nice, clean pit stops. I think we're going to be seeing many, many more following through as well. Blue Fox is staying out on the track, as is Matty D. I believe that is also out. TMF Marduk also still out. Karim stays out as well. So continuing on a little bit longer here on their soft compound tyres.
There's one question I forgot to ask, actually. Is there intentional safety cars allowed in this event? Because I wonder there could be someone that definitely may not get into the top 10, maybe cause an intentional safety car to potentially allow people who, but basically like the Team Blue cars, to go in and pit potentially to hold each other up, or maybe they could stay out. We don't know. This could happen. I'm giving people ideas, but to be honest, I don't really care at this point. It's a team event at the end of the day, where points are rewarded. If you're inside the top 10 and you get 1 point, if you're inside the top 10, and it doesn't matter if you're first or if it doesn't matter if you're 10th, you get the same amount of points. Lonnie Nova is your net race leader at the moment, Ricky 3 in your net second, but that may not matter later on, as we still got the top 6 that are yet to stop. The pit lane loss around here is the biggest one on the calendar. You lose so much more time, so the more time that they stay out, the less time that, well, the more time it allows Lonnie Nova and Ricky 3 to close in on the ones that haven't pitted yet. Lonnie Nova's not that far off Concept 7, or maybe that's what their strategy is from the beginning. I don't know what their strategy is. If they told us, then it would give it away, and I'll be crazy right now, as we've got a drag race to the line into the pit lane for Matty D13 and Blue Fox. This does not work for Blue Fox, though. He's got a speeding penalty to contend with. The only one that stayed out is Alex Gillen. Everyone else from that top 5 has got to come into the pit lane to get their one and only stop done and dusted. Of course, Alex Gillen, when he pits, he's going to be on fresh, soft tyres. He's going to hope the same thing happened in race 1, in race 2, where a safety car gets called out. But nothing is impossible nowadays, as we see Meraki just get the fastest lap, and we'll see where everyone else rounds up. As Fimex with that undercut, that has worked wonders right now, as a lot of the blue drivers that were near the front are now outside the top 10, as they got to be careful not to cut the pit lane exit line, which they don't, luckily, right now. As a yellow flag, that is Jakey, I believe, near the background. I wonder if we gained him. I know what he's doing. He's going to call the safety car. He's going to slow right down. If it doesn't work, then it's probably going to be embarrassing for Jakey, but no, not going to work, so he carries on. Nice try, Jakey, but doesn't work.
Unfortunate stuff there for Jakey. Tried something, tried to help his team out. In the end, it doesn't seem like it's going to work. He might have another go at it later on in the lap. Maybe he can convince someone else to work with him as well, because, I mean, looking at the gaps, the field seems a lot more spread out than it was in Spa. There are some drivers who probably have a bit of a lower chance. Jakey picking up a time penalty there for track limits as well, just to rub salt into the wound. As it stands, it is a red team 1, 2, 3, but of course Alex Gillen still yet to make his pit stop, will drop down the order and get replaced by another blue team driver. There are 5 red and 5 blue in the top 10 as it stands, but I think when Gillen makes the pit stop, that is going to be switching to 6 and 4 in favor of the blue team. They're looking to the inside. Fimex trying something there. Jakey is out of the race, and the safety car has been deployed.
There you go.
Things do work out for him in the end. He finds the barrier at the old pit lane, parks up next to the garage, and yes, safety car has come out on lap 9 of 13. Alex Gillen thrown the lifeline once again. He will find himself a pit stop to the soft compound tyres and come out very nicely in contention to fight for another point.
You know what, Josh? I think we gave in Jakey some ideas there. He probably might be listening to the stream and probably saying, "Oh, can somebody try and cause an intentional safety car?" And he's done it, and that's helped Alex quite massively. But it's probably living into regret it because Sasso, he's got a drive-through penalty, and he's going to retire the car. So that's 2 Team Red cars out. But that really doesn't matter because you want to try and get as much of your Team Red cars as possible. So most people are potentially going to come in, but there will be some people probably opting to stay out. We did see a mixture of strategies in race 1, but for some people they can't do the same as race 1 because it could give their strategy away, or they might do the same. We don't know. But if I was them, probably try and not do the same because it might be predictable this time as to what some of the drivers will do. We know some drivers will hold people up. Maybe some different drivers will hold people up instead, so they learn not to expect it. As Alex Gillen comes in, surely it's going to be soft compounded tyres.
Yeah, I think that's what we expect. It's just going to be interesting now to see what the others do. Lola Nova is coming into the pit lane. Ricky 03 is staying out. So split there between those two. Scotty Designs, by the way, also staying out on the track, as does Meraki. Davide is also staying out. It looks like a lot of these guys who have just pitted for their tyres are going to be keeping out on the track. There is one Team Blue car. That is Nick Flies coming in for a pit stop. Not really much to lose for him. It's a fresh set of tyres, maybe dropping a couple of positions, but he might be able to make those up later on. Blue Fox also coming into the pits, as is Dark Viper GT. So only 5 drivers this time around making a pit stop here. They will have time to catch up, of course, but Alex Gillen stayed out initially, went long on the first in, has come in for his pit stop now, and he is in P5 on a set of fresh soft compound tyres. That is a strategic masterclass. He played his cards right, waited for that safety car to come, as it inevitably would, and now he finds himself in the top 5 on a brand new set of soft tyres.
Which is optimal for 3 or 4 laps, which is perfect at this point for Alex Gillen. So I wonder if someone team orders was through, like, wait till lap 9 and lap 10, where the softs will probably be at its optimal when they pit, and then call the safety car then. That is exactly what they did, and Alex Gillen has been rewarded for it. But the question is, there's one thing on closing in during this safety car, there's another thing for passing. We know what Karim 17 has done. Will Meraki and Scotty Designs, by the way, do the same thing? And don't forget, there's just a quick reminder, each team are in a VC together, so there's going to be strategic masterclass. There's going to be some scheming going on during this safety car. I can't wait to watch the POVs, to be honest, after this race, because I can't wait to see what's going on in their VC. Each driver is in their own team VC. There's probably going to be some strategies going on, like some different strategies going on, people disagreeing with each other, but they have to learn to agree with each other and decide the right strategy. But for some people, they can't afford to do the same thing because the other team is probably going to learn to predict it. But yeah, team VCs, probably a recipe for chaos, but they're going to be scheming at this point, and this is going to be the exciting thing with a few laps to go of this one, with Ricky still leading.
Yeah, red team naturally at a disadvantage. They've got 2 cars out of the race already, so that's guaranteed cars that can't even fight for a top 10 position. One of their cars currently running last as well. However, of the cars outside of the top 10, the red team have 4 cars on new tyres. And blue team have got 4 cars, 3 of which are on new tyres, 1 of which Tiamat Marduk is on old tyres. Karim and Tiamat Marduk are going to be holding a barrier at the edge of that top 10, though. They currently have the advantage of 6 cars in that top 10. They will come out with a net points gain if they can keep it this way. If they can defend from all the red team cars behind them, they would come out with the advantage here. King Cryptic, currently sitting in 9th, also could be helping out with the blue team, communicating with them, working out their strategy for these final few laps. They don't need to gain positions here, they just need to hold the line, and that is going to be the crucial thing, as Meraki and Ricky swapping positions under the safety car. Meraki very eager on those soft compound tyres to try and put Ricky under a bit of pressure, try and get into his head, and maybe try and fight for that win.
Maybe to let Ricky know that he's there, and Meraki is potentially going to be playing a little bit of games here. He knows that Ricky may not have the win that easy, but Ricky's got to think differently. He's the one, he's the race leader. He's got to think of some mind games to make sure the red team cars are in the top 10. Because at the moment, it's 7 points to blue, 3 points to red. They can't afford to lose this one. And it's pretty even Stevens for the cars in the top 10. I think they've got 6 cars for Team Blue, 4 or 5 cars for Team Red. So it's pretty much anyone's game as the safety car is going to be in this lap. The team captains are going to make the calls. Who's going to be the one who's going to be chasing for the win on track? And who's going to be the one that's going to make sure no one does the overtake? We will see. We're about to go green flag racing. If I was Ricky, I would go as slow as you can, my friend, to make sure no one has a sniff at anybody. And maybe try and predict where your drives are going to be as well. As King Cryptid has got a 10-second penalty. That's not good if you're Team Blue, as we're already seeing some mind games already. Look at Alex Gillen, 9 seconds separates him and Davide. He knows what he's doing. No one is expecting that. But Ricky O'Free blasts through the final corner in towards the Hamilton straight, and for the final time tonight in Silverstone, we go green flag racing, but not for these guys. They're still going, and Vince has got a penalty for blocking. I think that might get removed. Oh, actually, no, it won't. It's a team event, for goodness sake. It won't be. It is team mind games, and that's what Alex is doing. He is in 5th place, and it's 15.5 seconds. Will that allow the Team Red cars to close up? We're going to have to wait and see, but we've got 2 of the blue cars who have got 10-second penalties, and another one who just got another 3-second. This is nail-biting stuff, but we already got people trading paint. Again, Chris battling with Alice Gillen for 5th place.
Well, this is going to be a chaotic end. We've seen them backing up so much there, banging wheels as we make our way on towards the Wellington Straight. 2 10-second penalties. That is going to frustrate the blue team here. TMF Marduk looking to apply some pressure to Fimex, who also carries a 3-second time penalty. The only driver on the red team with that penalty. Lolanova up the inside, now to the outside. Contact made with Karim as they head on towards, heading towards Woodcote here and towards Cops Corner as well. Does Karim have the bravery to try and stick his nose to the inside here with Lolanova? In towards Cops Corner we go, and he makes that move stick. Lolanova tucking back in, tuck it tight. Look for the switchback as we now head in towards Max and Beckes. The better grip though for Karim. He finds his way through. Davide finds his way into the podium positions as it stands. Meraki has decided to give up on the fight to the front. He's backing up as a spinner. Concept 7 off down to Magus and Beckes, as well as Fimex also losing control, but the cars are backing up now. They've realised the fight in those final few positions, and as we get ready to start the final lap, they are parking the bus, getting ready for this final lap battle.
We saw what we saw in race 1. We thought that was chaotic at the end. I expect this end of this race is going to be even more chaotic. I wonder if it's going to be the slowest lap of everybody's life. It's like you're on the M25 in a queue trying to pretty much go through and get past everybody. You can see Meraki slowing down. The gap is coming down. We wasn't expecting that tactic, but there's been a bit of a Chris there, but I think he just got the car saved in time. Alex Gillen parking the bus, trying to get past him in the blue car. That's allowed Lolanova to P6. That was good for Alex, but Meraki's probably going to try and slow down even more now to do anything. At the moment, the winner of this race is going to go to Team Red. Will that mean anything? We don't know. Oh, look at this. They're parking the bus heading towards Woodcote. I don't think any of the top 2 are going to do anything. I wonder if they're going to slow down towards the line. We got 3 cars going wide in towards Cops Corner now. This is where Dirty Air is going to be at its finest now. What mind games is Team Red going to think about? What mind games is Team Blue going to think about? They've got to try and get as many of their cars in towards the top 10 now. These final few corners is going to be make or break. Through into Chapel now for the final time. In towards Stowe. Ricky O'Free wins this race with Scotty Designs, by the way, in second. Davide in third. We got 2-3-2 as Alex Gillen has passed Meraki. And Meraki's dropped down to 7th, but what if they're slowing down on purpose? Yes, they are slowing down on purpose. Through they go then into Club Corner for the final time. We don't know how this order's going to end. Grab your popcorn, everybody. Lonnie Noba. Oh, no, it's Team McMarley in 4th. Lonnie Noba is slowing down. Kareem 17, 6th. Matty D 2nd. And we got... Oh, everyone's crossed the line, but it looks like, if my math is correct, it goes in the favour of Team Blue again, Josh.
Yeah, I believe, if I counted that correctly, 6 Team Blue cars, for Team Red. Unfortunately for the Team Red, they had 6 of their cars in the bottom 6 starting that final lap. So it was already the cars that were up there who managed to stay there. They just couldn't quite fight their way through on that final lap. Just wasn't close enough for them in the end. Having 3 cars out of the race as well, not really paying in their favour. And as we can see, it is 4 red cars up in that top 10. Unfortunate stuff for them once again, losing out. But they still have a chance to fight this one back, of course, once we do head in towards these final 2 races.
It will be a reverse grid order for Vegas as the round 3. So the driver that will be starting on pole position will be the one that calls the safety car, Jakey, with Safso in P2. So we got a red 1, 2, 3. That's going to be starting this one. And we know with Vegas, you do not want to be starting on pole anyway. So that is your point scoring. Team Red has clawed back a little bit, but Team Blue has increased their gap up front. It's 13 points for Ben's team, 7 for Team Red of Alex Gillen's team. Things are coming very unfortunate for Team Red. Alex Gillen did the right thing. He held each other up. But Meraki had other ideas. He did something that no one else would have thought of and hold the guys up towards the end of the race. Alex Gillen did something that Karim did in the last race. And I did say, do not do what somebody else did in the last race, because someone else is going to come up with a completely different strategy like what Meraki did. What Meraki did helped get the blue team cars into contention here.
Yeah, and ultimately it didn't quite work out for Gillen. Blue team managed to find a way around the old strategies, found a way to make it work a bit better, and as a result, they come out gaining an extra 2 points in this championship relative to the rest.
Yep, and of course we still got 2 more rounds. Anything can happen, and of course double points when we head to Jeddah for the 50% race, but we still got one more 25% race still to go. And this is going to be Slipstream Fest, ladies and gentlemen. The Las Vegas Grand Prix, where low downforce again will be essential, just like we saw at Spa-Francorchamps. This was first used back in 2023, and it's played host to many Las Vegas races for the last few ones. 6.2 kilometer circuit, 17 turns. It passes way like in locations like Caesars Palace, the Bellagio, and the Venetian. And I've commentated on a lot of Vegas races in Creator Series. It's meant to be, but I think we're going to see, a bit more chaos than what we've seen the last 2 races. You don't want to be the one leading going into the final lap. You want to be the one pretty much chasing for slipstream at this point. You want to give the cars around you slipstream. This is going to be different tactics going into race 3 with 0-0 wings once again. It has to happen. If you don't want 0-0 wings, again, you're going to be on a bow. What does Team Red have to do? Because they can't afford to be losing points again like we saw in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, I think they've got to just... I don't really know where the break is happening here, whether it's just a general pace advantage for Team Blue, whether the Team Blue are just able to work together a bit. But whenever you look at it, whenever you look at the timing tower, you always kind of see a big group of Team Blue cars right at the bottom end, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, those positions. And then they're just able to force their way slowly up through the field in those final few laps. And I think that's why they're always able to just get a couple extra cars into those top 10 positions in those final few laps. Whereas there's sometimes a couple Team Reds further down, we've seen a couple of them retiring as well. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, whether they can adapt on the fly as we head into these final 2 races. Still plenty of points available though.
Yeah, because it's not just about where you finish. As long as you finish in the top 10, that is important. And I think they got to think, what can each driver do starting in this position? They probably potentially could have a role to play in this race. If the race goes to plan, you're going to be the one that holds up this driver, because surely you would know where each driver is going to be starting. So you're going to be thinking tactics at this point to make sure that things happen. Maybe after these first 2 rounds, an intentional safety car may not work. Again, they can't afford to do the same strategies a little bit. Let us know in the live chat, everybody, who you're rooting for. Can Team Red claw up the points and try and close in on Team Blue for the final round? Or is it all said and done for Team Marduk? And again, it may not just be pace advantage. It could just be people are doing the right things and playing the right tactics potentially, Josh.
Yeah, And something else to take into account, of course, we've got the walls really close. We've seen in these previous races people going off track, getting out of the way, running right to the edge of the track limits to try and play some tactics. The walls are going to be there now. If you make contact, it could be race ending, and that's going to really apply some pressure for these guys as well, because they've got to be a bit more careful with the maneuvers that they're making to try and hold people up, because they could just put themselves into the wall and rip a tyre off and bring their race to an end.
And for most Las Vegas races, I think there's been plenty of them. I think the first few we had in the EA Sports F1 Creator Series, where we had safety cars that were pretty much been and gone after 15 laps. And then for the rest of it, then there was no more safety cars. Of course, we only get, I think, 2 safety car slots in this one. We could have 2 safety cars already in the space of 2 laps because of people making mistakes. It's so much easier to make a mistake around Vegas than any other track. And of course, we've got Jeddah as well later on for the 50% race, which I think is going to be even more chaotic. And I remember in the last, I think it was 2 seasons ago in Las Vegas, we had a safety car right at the end of the race, which did bring out a bit of drama as well. So I think we could see safety cars being caused not just by people intentionally causing them, maybe just people making mistakes. So that's going to play an important factor.
Yeah, of course. And as we have seen, the safety cars have been so crucial for these drivers, defining the strategy effectively. Maybe not so much in Silverstone, but it definitely was a key factor for the drivers in Spa. And yeah, I think ultimately that is going to be something the drivers are watching out for. I think we're going to see a lot more drivers starting on the mediums and maybe even the hard compound tyres to go long into the race, get themselves those soft tyres for that final stint of the race. Because we've seen in 2 races already, we've had a long stint followed with a 2-lap shootout at the end because of a safety car. Those 2 laps have been so important in deciding the race result. We've seen it swing in those final 2 laps. And yeah, I think that's going to be something the drivers really have to play into their minds.
Yeah, I think they got to think different tactics, think what would I would do in that situation, and then jobs are good. And I can't remember who's going to be starting near the front. We know Jakey's going to be starting near the front, and he's known for mainly like Le Mans Creator Series. Of course, we've seen him there. We've seen him creating all the shorts and the videos as well. We've mainly seen him behind the scenes, but now he's going to be starting his 3rd ever Creator Series race in the F1 side, near the front. Probably not what you would expect for Jakey, but Jakey did the right thing, maybe causing the safety car, but he can't afford to make the same mistake like we saw in race 2, where the first attempt of a safety car didn't work, potentially. We know in a few races where people were slowing down to cause a safety car, that could work, but we'll see what Jakey can do as we're about to get underway under the lights, Josh.
Yeah, yes. We are here in Vegas, and yeah, yeah, in the pit lane in Vegas. A bit of confusion there from our producer, who got very worried for a second that we weren't at the right track. But yeah, we're here on the streets of Vegas, here in the Nevada desert, and very soon we'll be heading to the grid. As you said, it is Jakey on pole, Safso lining up alongside him. It's a red team of 1, 2, 3 for the start of this race. So yeah, gonna be a very interesting one here. For them, of course, they've got the advantage once again, but we saw how things changed up throughout the race. Team Blue able to pull the advantage back and, in fact, even extend it. So, yeah, going to be interesting to see if they can maintain it this time around on a track where it is going to probably be a bit more difficult to overtake with how tight things are and the amount of slipstream that everybody is going to be having.
Yeah, before we start, by the way, we couldn't have done this without the man behind the scenes, Mr. Gareth Allen, our producer. Thank you so much to him. He's been also the one sorting out the grid and the lobby as well. So he's doing pretty much almost everything tonight. So everything that you see, it's all on him. Of course, him and the management team helping to put this event together. Of course, no one was able to host, so we got Mr. Allen instead. So thank you very much to him, of course. And he's doing a fine job as well. Make sure you follow us on all our socials at Creator Series GG on Insta, Twitter, TikTok. I'm sure there's going to be clips after this race of the chaos that we've seen already in the first 2. We could see even more chaos in the opening few as well. And it'll be good to get your involvement in the chat. But we are about to go underway then. The 5 red lights are on here in Vegas once more. And we are underway with Jakey leading the way from Safso. How long is that going to take? We're going to have to wait and see. And already we're seeing people into the pits. in the background, which is to be expected. If you know, you know, ladies and gentlemen, as we've sort of seen someone has had a moment in towards turn 2 there. But Sappho now leads, Jakey second, Concept 7 in third, King Cryptic in fourth, and if you know, you know, sometimes if you're near the back, you could technically go into the pits on the first lap, which I think is quite clever. Not many people know how to do it, but again, if you know, you know.
Yeah, so Ricky going for that strategy is there, turned sideways. That is a big moment. I think that might have been Alex Gillen or Lolinova. Those two contact, and once again, Lolinova sent spinning around, not the start that the red team would have been looking for again. Drivers getting caught up in contact as our top 3 swapping positions on the opening lap as well. Jakey now down to 3rd, might be under pressure here as well from King Cryptic, but Alex Gillen and Lolinova both getting caught up. I think a car off there, heading in towards turn 12, going deep on the brakes. They managed to get it recovered nicely. But as it stands already, not the greatest of starts for the red team, as 5 and 5, I think, in the top 10 as it stands. But blue team seem to again have that momentum flowing in their favour.
Yeah, it looks like, doesn't it? And like I was saying earlier, there was people just getting damaged pretty much just by not taking the corner right as well, and people being brave, trying to go for moves, and you can't get damage at this point because that could cost your team big time, especially if your Team Red, as Fimex gets past Jakey. I think Jakey has picked his battles. He's probably going to try and fight the Team Blue cars as they make their way through. We've got 5 cars of Team Red into the top 6 right now, but now the blue cars trying to make their way through. Nick Flies and Karim 17, they're making our places, and we're seeing, like we were saying earlier, Dark Viper and Chris in that 10th, 11th spot. This is what's helping them, and they can play some strategies here. We got Benjamin Daly, Scotty Designs, by the way, and Meraki near that as well. As I think Jakey has realised what his role is going to be in this race right now. It's King Cryptic doing well in 3rd place, as we already got some corner cutting happening in the Sphere section. Who would have saw that coming? Probably everyone.
Yeah, but again, a bad start to the race for the red team. 4 cars in that bottom 4 as we're 3 wide, heading towards the strip. Surely this doesn't end well. One blue team car gets through. Jakey under pressure still. Got a car on his inside as they make their way over the big sausage curve, and he loses another position, and 2 and 3, 4, 5 positions dropped. Must have been a big mistake there for Jakey as he drops, tumbling down the order, now down to 14th position. The man who started on pole in the space of just under 2 laps has lost 13 positions already. We've got yellow flags out on the strip as well. That can't be a good sign. I think there's a car sideways, and that I think is Jakey, who's I think might just be slowing down. Not too sure whether there was some contact there or not, but Jakey down to 18th now.
I think it's tactics, maybe to get near his red team members who have made their first pit stop. Of course, it is mandatory. They can do it. The game will allow them. So maybe they're going to try and close up to that and make a brick wall, as it were, for when everyone else pits. We'll see if that works a little bit later on. And as I was saying, Jakey comes in to get his first stop out the way, as we're seeing Team Marduk and Alex Gillen fighting for position. This is what we love to see in red versus blue. I wonder if they're going to hold each other up. We don't know. Team Marduk gets past Alex Gillen. They're going to be switching positions. Matty D trying to have a say in this as well. They almost hit the wall. I don't think they got damage, it looks like. We've got Blue Fox has got past Karim 17 in the background. We're seeing Alex almost going for a lunge as he almost got caught out again with that curve, which can be absolutely deadly if you use too much of it. But again, we're seeing the rivalry that we love to see on track, but they got to work to get their team close enough to them rather than fighting each other, because that's where they're going to lose that many positions. Team Blue are having the upper hand at the moment, especially if you're Nick Fly to Karim 17 right now. If you're starting near that mid-pack, that is where you're going to gain so much positions a little bit later on. Meraki's now moved up into 9th now. They're probably starting to establish their roles in this race, and they're probably going to stick to it unless we get a possible safety car, which could happen, and someone's almost had enough near the curve. I think it was one of the red cars that had a bit of a squirmy moment there, going on the exit of that corner through the DRS straight, which is the Las Vegas strip, of course. But we're about to start lap 5. Concept 7 still leads, but how can he work with Safso to get Fimex in the picture now?
Yeah, both side by side in towards turn number 1, 3 wide as well as we make our way through turn number 2 here. So many cars battling up and down the field. Blue Fox under pressure here, trying to fight with Meraki and King Cryptic. heading down towards turn number 5 here. Dark Viper GT a little bit too far back to try and put any pressure on here and try and get another car potentially up into those top 10 positions. Bit of a slide on the exit of the corner as well. That could give Dark Viper GT that chance that he was looking for. Team at Marduk as well, currently down in P14. He'll be looking to make up some positions as well. Jappers and Chris battling as they make their way past the spear here. Jappers to the inside, trying to squeeze his way back through up into 12th position, get himself closer to the points paying positions. He does just that, but now got a 2-second gap to Scotty Designs, the next car up the road.
Yeah, Scotty Designs just on that bubble to get in that top 10. Dark Viper, they got to be switching position, it looks like, and this is where we're really going to start to see some DRS chicken here. How are you going to use that to effect to pretty much close in on the guys who are in that top 10? What are you going to do to make sure the Team Red get more cars in the top 10? Probably a lot of slipstreaming, probably switch positions once more through this strip. And I think most people around here are taking this corner absolutely fine. And we can start to see, I think, the tire temperatures getting a bit hotter as we head into the halfway stage of this race before quite a lot of people are pitted. As Jakey is out of this race, that has caused a safety car, and that is bad news if you just, oh no, VSC, never mind. It's not a safety car, a virtual safety car.
Full safety car. You can see the safety car there.
Safety car, okay. I thought it was. And then it was a VSC, now it's a safety car. That was a bit confused for the game, but once again, to be expected, we get one. But the question is, will we get another one later? We will find out. But inevitably, everyone has got to go in and do their pit stops, surely.
Well, the crucial thing here is looking at where these cars who did pit at the start come out. Ricky has come out ahead of TMX Marduk, but TMX Marduk was outside of the top 10. So there's a chance here that those red cars might not actually be in the points fight here. Even after making their early pit stops, they're going to be on worse tyres, and after that safety car, that might not really play into their favour. They've already lost the car out of the race as well, so that's a small disadvantage coming towards the red team. Things, again, seem to be going in the favour of the blue team. They've got 7 cars at the moment in the top 10.
Yeah, and they can't afford to lose the gap once more like they did in the first 2 rounds, because otherwise they're going to need a miracle. They would probably need the whole of their team to be in the top 10 in order for a chance to win that race. Our producers just made a good point. If Jakey calls his safety car on purpose, he didn't really think of the ones who stopped in lap 1. Ricky O'Free, Lolly Noba, they pitted at the start because they were at the back, so they could do that. They didn't get a drive-through for it because they were able to pit. That didn't help them. It's catching. I can't think of a saying here, but with Ricky and Lolly Noba pitting early right at the start of the race, maybe Jakey did not think about those two. They probably thought about the cars that are in front. Maybe Jakey didn't know that those two made that stop. Maybe it was a lack of communication. Maybe their communication have got to be sorted at this point, because otherwise that would have costed Team Red big time.
Well, all the pit stops will be made now. Ricky is going to go through, I think, to take a position. Well, he's going to be in second at the moment. So in that sense, it has worked. But he's also got 4-lap older tyres, harder tyres as well. I don't think it's the best position. Lolly Noba is currently in 8th position, so he's the other driver who made that early pit stop. So it has, in a sense, worked out for them. They've got 5 cars into the top 10, two cars queuing up ready to make their moves. They've got Alex Gillen right down to the back on soft tyres, not exactly where they would have been wanting him. I think he's picked up a bit of wing damage because he seems to be a long way off the back of the pack.
Or maybe that's what he's potentially planning to do, because of course he's on those soft tyres. I don't think the soft tyres would last at this point. Maybe if they would have pitted a lap later, but the safety car, you pretty much gain less tyre wear at this point. You burn less tyre wear at this point. So maybe that is what Alex is thinking as it stands. So we're down to 19 runners, 9 cars from Team Red, and a full suite of blue cars. This is going to be a crucial moment. If you want to put less pressure on yourself for the final race, work together here. Try and get most of your cars in the top 10 in this race, because otherwise it's going to be very difficult to try and do the same for this one. As Karim 70 has dropped quite a few places during that safety car. Maybe he's gone intentionally wide. We're going to have to wait and see on that one. Maybe we'll have Bert Mylander talking to him a little bit, potentially. I don't know. We are just waiting though for Alex to catch up to the safety car, and then we will go green flag racing once more, and safety car will be in this lap. And don't forget, Alex Gillen will be on the warmer tyres because he was able to go full pelt unlike anybody else. So Josh, we'll let you take this one. Concept 7 will be leading the field away as we head on to this restart.
Yeah, already penalties coming in, and that is not good news for the red team. A 10-second penalty for Chappers. That, as it stands, would take him well and truly out of contention for any points. He's going to be hoping for another safety car to try and clear that one, but Concept 7 putting his foot to the floor. We go green here in Las Vegas. Tag Guy Vince immediately putting pressure on Safso for this podium position around the outside through the first corner with the fresh soft compound tyres. Goes a bit deep though. Couldn't quite get the car stopped in time. Safso takes a defensive line in towards turn 3 and 4. Gets the car rotated in nicely, but it's going to compromise his exit with Vince and Meraki right on the back of his car. He could be under pressure here. By the time they hit the brakes for turn number 5, Vince just going to play it cautiously, backing out of that one, and a twitch under the brakes from Safso as well. That would have been a disaster if he had tried to send that one to the inside, but everything continuing as normal. Here comes Meraki on Vince as well as they make their way through Nick Flies, currently in P9, defending from Chappers behind.
Chappers in that crucial P10 spot, but don't forget he does have that time penalty, 10 seconds, which he got under the safety car. So if there's no more safety cars, then potentially he's going to drop back loads of positions. And who knows, we could get one more. Maybe people are predicting for one more. We don't know. Anything can happen in the Created Series, and anything can happen in this team event. For those who did just join us, welcome to Blue versus Red, which is a team event made up of drivers with the captains of Alex Gillen in red and Team at Marduk in blue. And if you get inside the top 10, you score a point for your team. And at the moment, it's going in the way of Team Blue. They are leading the way right now in points. And Team Red might be having a bit of a good one at the moment with 3 of their cars in the top 4. But we got more cars in the top 10 for Team Blue at the moment, so they're going to be getting points. And they're probably trying to dummy people into the pit lane. Now, that is very cheeky, and I love it. Safso does get past Meraki, but Meraki gets past Safso once more side by side. This is great tactics from the blue team, as this allowed Vince and Viper to be on the back of Safso as well. What can they do at this point? We got Karim 17 not that far behind as well. Nick Flies, what could he do to bring King Crypto into play? Dark Viper goes through past Vince, it looks like. Now they've got to try and get past Safso. But it's good work from the blue team. As you can see, a late lunge from one of the red cars in the background. I think that was Alex. Don't forget he started at the back. He was in 15th. Now he's shot down to 16th because of Chris gaining the position on him. Chris, not the way he would have won him for his race, but again, still plenty of laps to go for this one. As Cryptic has dropped down position, he's down in 16th. That's not ideal. That's allowed an extra car for Team Red to gain a position now. So maybe this could go back in Red's favour very soon. I think it's even Stevens now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 5 red cars and 5 blue cars in the top 10. This is even Stevens now for the last few laps, Josh.
Yeah, of course, Alex Gillen also on the charge. He's got to get past Scotty and Team at Marduk to get onto the back of his fellow teammates as we head down the strip. Alex Gillen defending from Chris in the blue car with those hard compound tyres. Gonna have worse grip out this moment, maybe better grip later on. Going right over to the inside late on the brakes for Alex Gillen, just about edging his way clear of Chris by the time they reach the apex of the corner. But that was not easy work as Karim gets his way through on Safso further up the road as well. Alex Gillen going to be setting his sights on Scotty Designs next.
Yep, that's his next job. The softs aren't going to last forever though, so he's got to make the move now because otherwise his red compatriots are not going to be doing any favours, unfortunately. He's on lap 9 of 13. I can see what Red are trying to do here. They're trying to put a roadblock to keep Alex Gillen to make sure they get in the top 10. Then we could have a Team Armada versus Alex Gillen fight once more, which could go full guns blazing. This could go into chaos, or you never know. This could be some good wheel-to-wheel racing. Davide is not looking good for Team Red with that 3-second penalty. You won't get that removed, Sunshine. That will be added to your time at the end of this one. And that's not going to be good. Yes, you're going to be starting near the front, but that doesn't necessarily dictate into getting a good result in the next race, which is what we are seeing from him at the moment, as someone's had a bit of an off there, it looks like, but I think they're okay as of yet. Team Tactics now for the last few laps. Team Red have got a thing on their feet here. They're doing the right thing now. Well, what can they do to bring Alex Gillen into play? Because they've got Lolinova, Blue Fox, and Vimex in that bubble now.
Well, it's going to be a difficult one here as Alex Gillen losing multiple positions on the strip. Thought he was going to be able to make some positions, dropping a bit further back, losing position to Scotty and to Chris. Here up at the front, we've got Concept 7 leading the way, Ricky 03 in second, and then 5 of the blue cars. That is the crucial thing for the blue team. They've got 5 cars right up there, and here comes TMM Marduk in 11th place now, fighting with P10 here, could be trying to get himself into those points paying positions, get himself the 6th point for the blue team, and that would be so crucial to take an extra point away from them heading into the final race. He's up into the top 10 now, and this is really going to shake things up for the blue team. They've got 6 cars now in the top 10, 4 for the red team. Even more points headed the way for them. Up at the front, still Dark Viper, Dako Vince, Karim applying the pressure to Ricky and Concept 7, but their fight is mainly for that back end of the points, trying to get as many cars past those 2 red cars, Lolinova and Sasso, who currently sits 8th and 9th.
Lolinova and Sasso got to think on their feet a little bit here for the final few laps of this race, as we're seeing more time penalties, and that's for Team Blue, but he's near the back anyway, so no harm done there for Matty D13. He's probably going to be starting near the front for the next race, so probably Tactics right now. So as it stands, it's pretty much even Stevens, but you never know, they could slow each other down come the final lap of this race if the last few races are anything to go by. Look at the order, as you can see on your screen, it will not be the same on the final lap. Believe you me, it will be harder for us in the commentary box to figure out who has finished where. The most important thing is to track the teams rather than the drivers at this point, as we have got more switch positions for the red team. Lolinova and Sasso got to play DRS chicken in with these two, because that is going to do wonders for them to stop any more blue cars trying to get through the fray as well. You can see Scotty Designs, by the way, trying to get past the 2 red cars of Blue Fox and Fimex. Fimex doing the right thing at the moment, but will it be too little too late? It's Chris trying to make his way past Alex Gillen in towards turn 3 round the outside. This could be 3 wide potentially as we head towards turn 4 and 5 very soon. There's a bit of end play from one of the Team Blue cars. That is Scotty Designs, by the way, has had a bit of a moment. That hasn't done much difference in terms of teams in the top 10. But what if we get a safety car? That could change quite a bit. And luckily, we didn't get a safety car, so it is a sprint to the finish for these guys now. This is probably good news for your Team Red, because you got Blue Fox right behind Team McMurdoch.
Yeah, well, this is going to be the crucial battle. These guys fighting here. Lolinova and Sasso backing them up as well, trying to bring more cars into play. Contact though as they head onto the strip, and that I think might have been damage for Sasso, and that allows Team Marduk through up into 9th position now. Another car making their way past the barriers for the red team. And let's see as we run down towards the braking zone here. Meraki without the DRS is losing positions here, going to drop down to 10th behind Sasso, but TMM Marduk boxing him in. They're deploying tactics once again down the straight, making a box so that they can't make any progress further forward, and as a result, Meraki with the inside line is able to continue on. Once again, Sasso going to try and find his way through, but will TMM Marduk back off, try and box him in again? Doesn't look like it this time around. Sasso is through, ahead of Meraki. Blue Fox now is going to be the one looking to try and apply pressure here on the blue car as they head on towards the penultimate lap of this race. Crucial stuff now. If Blue Fox can get himself back through, that could swing the tides once again in this race.
You can see what Lolinova's doing. Look at the gap, 5.6 seconds. He's got a role to play, and I think he's doing a very good job as Blue Fox has gained a crucial position for Team Red. This could be make or break in terms of how the final race is going to fare and how many team members need to be within that top 10, as Chappers is now out of this race, but he's near the back. Anyway, I think Lolinova's doing the right thing here, but is that going to bring the red card into contention or the blue card into contention? We'll find out very soon. Concept is leading, but for how much longer? The front 4, I think, are pretty much going to be the same, but you never know with Creator Series. Things could all blow up like that as we head into the last 1.5 laps of this race. still to go. This is gonna where team tactics are made here. Team McMurdoch almost dropped down a few positions, but Meraki has gained one. Lolinova's now in the top 10. I think it's pretty much even Stevens going into the final race potentially with 5v5 at the moment, but for how much longer? You can see the red cars trying to go for the move in the background. I wonder how that's going to fare. But we're on the final lap of this race, Josh. We'll see who's made the right stuff. Our Team Red finally pulling off the strategy of dreams, or will it come in Team Blue's favour? There's a bit of end plate missing, Josh.
Yeah, they've got 5 cars lining up here, ready to take these positions away. This is going to be so crucial as we head towards the final lap. They need to get TM Mardik and Meraki outside of the top 10 here, but it's going to be difficult as we make our way through. First DRS zone comes up now. Yellow flags out further behind. That's nothing to worry about. Here comes Lolinova, gaining on Meraki. TM Mardik to box him in contact on the straight. To the inside he looks, heading in towards turn number 5. Lolinova on TM Mardik, trying to squeeze his way past these two rivals of seasons gone by. Lolinova pulls himself ahead, and now he can deploy the anchors, try and back the team up, try and get the rest of the red cars into contention side by side as we make our way past the sphere. Team Mardik trying to find his way around the outside, but it doesn't seem to be working too well. Sliding as they get onto the power. Team Mardik through. That will give Lolinova DRS, but crucially the rest of the red cars struggling to find their way past Meraki, who is causing a bit of a roadblock as we now head down towards Las Vegas Boulevard. Here comes Meraki down the inside, and Team Mardik backing Lolinova up. That allows Meraki through. Blue Fox as well applying the pressure. They're all flying through here. DRS chicken is going to be played here as we head down the strip. This is going to be absolute carnage on the final lap. It's going to be a roll of the dice here as we head towards the final braking zone. The lock contact on the straight, and now Team Mardik currently leading this train. Salso, Lolinova, Meraki, Blue Fox, Fimex, the cars in this train up at the front. Karim fought his way through to take victory here in Vegas as we make our way through the chicane. Lolinova, I think that was Fimex, sorry, losing the car, running towards the line. Meraki and Team Mardik have crucially kept themselves in the top 10 as we fight up towards the line side by side as we make our way to the final corners. They will hold their positions in the top 10, and that is oh so crucial for this championship battle here in this 10v10 event, because we have got 6 blue cars in the top 10. They extend their margin once again. So crucial here.
And that does mean in the final race, Team Red, they definitely gonna need a miracle, to be honest. Miracles do happen, but they don't just need to get 6 of their cars in the top 10. Well, they gotta get pretty much most of their cars in the top 10 in the final race, which is easier said than done, because of course we got the 50% raise in Jeddah coming up. We will confirm your points going into the final round in just a moment, but we only had 1 safety car, and that was lap 4, and that was it. And we were predicting one towards the end of the race, but that didn't happen. They must have listened to our stream and say, don't call an intentional safety car at the end because of the predictability, but we'll run for your order. Again, the win doesn't matter on the road. It's about how many cars you get in the top 10. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars, as you were saying, in the top 10 for Team Blue, 4 for Team Red here. That's going to extend their gap in the top 10 for all of Team Blue's cars. And we're seeing a wide variety of drivers in Team Blue getting some points for their team. They're contributing quite a lot here at this point. But we'll go through your points in just a moment. It's looking like he's in Ben's favour at the moment. Alex's team needs a miracle. And Alex, disqualified by going the wrong way. He's perfectly going towards the start at the back of the grid. Look at that gap. 19 points for Team Blue, 11 points for Team Red. They're going to need almost all their cars in the top 10 if Alex needs to get a miracle here. They can't afford to have some cars outside the top 10. They got to have 9 cars in the top 10 in order to win this. Otherwise, that is game over for them.
Well, yeah, it's double points, so that's the crucial thing. So they can gain more points compared to these previous races, but it is going to take a lot of effort. And for Alex Helan, who you might have caught did disqualify himself from that race, he is going to be starting at the back of the field here in Jeddah. That is not
on purpose.
What he would have been looking for.
It was on purpose. It was on purpose. I think he wants to start in the back of the grid anyway because he knows Jeddah can cause chaos. I know Alex. He wanted to do it on purpose anyway because he just went the wrong way. That was why he got disqualified. So he will be starting at the back of the grid anyway. But again, we've got Team Red starting at the front, but for the majority of the races, that hasn't really worked out for the ones near the middle. Yes, they got the ones at the front trying to score points for their team, but the ones in the middle, they haven't been doing so. Yes, they almost got it right in Las Vegas, but the ones in blue just were able to think of last-minute strategies on the fly and were able to do so. Yes, Lolly Nova tried their best, but Team Blue just got one step up and maybe try this instead, and that potentially did work a little bit. But with Lolly in P10, I believe, going into the final round, maybe you can try and play some tactics here potentially. But we go to Jeddah next, the final race, 50% race, double points are on offer, as Josh was saying. Another track where it is low downforce is required. And if people are to describe what the circuit is like, it's like the Temple of Speed, but it's in Saudi Arabia. It is very fast, very technical as well. The walls are just right there if you get it wrong as well. It's going to be another underlined special in the Creator Series. And we know that it's going to be an endurance race at this point. Now, they used to 25%. It's going to be a 50% race now. And if people make a mistake early on, it may be hard to be backing up from that.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one, but probably the narrowest track and also the highest speed track as well. There's going to be so many opportunities, especially like through the first sector, where you can just park the bus, back the pack up. You can lose several seconds a lap around the Jeddah Corniche. I think that's going to be something so crucial for these drivers if they want to play some team tactics. I think this is probably one of the best circuits for them to pull this one off. But yeah, going to be an interesting one, of course. 19-11 is the margins as it stands. Very much looking like this is going to go in favour of Team Marduk. They've won every single race so far.
Yes, every single race so far in this Team Red versus Blue, they've got the most points. Yes, Team Red tried their best to try and get more cars in the top 10, but I think Team Blue were just planning more in advance. And we were worried at one point with Dart, like the team changes, because I think they had two people that dropped out last minute. Of course, we had Adam Sanderson who dropped out. We had Alex that dropped out, and Alex not Alex Gillen, of course, but Dart Viper joining in as well. We thought they were going to struggle getting into the fray in terms of strategy, but it seems to me they've been fitting into the strategy quite well. They've been following orders and having a bit of fun as we do it. I can't imagine what the Chaos and the VC is going to be like. I'm definitely going to be watching those POVs later as well. But with double points on offer, this could make or break Team Red and gain up the order. But I think with a circuit like this, there's plenty of drivers that are probably going to be going ambitious with the setup as well. They could be going lower wings compared to their competitors to try and get their way up through the field.
Yeah, gonna be an interesting one, of course. I have just quickly done the maths. If Red gets 7 cars in the top 10, Blue with 3, they would both finish equal on 25 points. So Blue team just need to get 4 cars in the top 10 to win this. Red team, to win it overall, will need 8 out of 10 cars in the top 10 to be of their team. That is going to be incredibly difficult for Alex Gillen's team to pull off. It might be possible, but I feel like Team Marduk is going to be feeling very happy heading into this final race.
Yeah, I think there's less pressure for him, but maybe Team Red's probably having nothing to lose is probably a good thing, because yes, they want to get near the front, but they're going to try and ruffle a few feathers for Team Blue at this point. Are they going to start to put the pressure a bit more and try and make Team Blue make a bit of mistakes? Because, like I say, the walls are quite close, especially as you head to the start of Sector 1. You got turn number 1 and 2, which is now biting to say the least. The curves are just right there. And then we've seen quite a few instances in real life as we head towards turn 3 and 4 with a few spins. They've got to be very precise in terms of the braking as well. And we have got quite a few DRS zones, to name a few, around this circuit. 27 corners. We could see quite a lot of DRS checking at heading towards the final sector in particular, because you've got the DRS detection point starting in turn 22. And then from turn 35, 25 and 26 and 27, now you got the DRS zone there. And then they got the detection point in turn 27 towards the final corner. You can tell it's going to be now biting stuff when people are going to think about DRS chicken.
Yeah, it's just the nature of this circuit. Things are going to get so close. So yeah, gonna be an interesting one for sure. Yeah, I cannot wait to see how all of this is going to play out. It's going to be a nail-biting finish, of course. The red team are going to try everything they possibly can. Safety cars, corner cutting, crashing, backing cars up. It's going to be absolute chaos here on the streets of the Corniche. But yeah, I think obviously Team Ben, the favourites, Team Blue, the favourites, heading into this one. DRS is going to be a crucial one, and I think very soon we will be heading trackside. Shouldn't be too much longer, and then yeah, it is going to be an exciting one to finish this one off here tonight.
And we hope you enjoyed it as well, and you haven't done so already, check our socials at the top. F1 Creative Series on YouTube, F1 Creative Series on Instagram, and you can follow us on and X or TikTok as well. And you can also follow us on Twitch and hit that notification bell if you're watching on YouTube, so we get recommended on all the streams we do. Because we don't just do F1. We'd recently done the Indy 500 in iRacing, which I have to say, if you haven't watched that, give that a watch, because I think it was quite chaotic towards the end, but it was some really great racing. Of course, we've had many Le Mans Ultimate races, which we just dipped our head into, which I have to say was very fun to watch there as well. Planning to do some more there too. So we're not just dipping into the world of F1. We've got iRacing and Le Mans Ultimate as well. Hopefully there'll be plans for more Le Mans Ultimate races, because the one in Sebring was quite entertaining as well. Plenty of stuff for our creators to get involved in. And here we are on the streets of Jeddah. Luckily no rain, which is probably a relief. 50% race. This is going to be different to what we've seen for the last 3 races. I think more time to think about the strategies, but I think more strategies available. The hards are going to come into play more than anything now compared to the softs and the mediums. If they do soft to mediums, it's not going to work. Could we potentially see 2 stops here?
I think so. It's a possibility. Of course, we're heading into a 50% race, as you've said. The extra laps allow the potential for the 2-stop. It is pretty close. The 1-stop is difficult around here as well. I think purely on pace, the 1-stop is faster by a couple of seconds, but it depends on the traffic. If you can get yourself through the traffic quickly, that can help you as well. That is going to be something crucial for the drivers to pay attention to. We're going to have a bit more variance in strategy, but I think a lot of drivers are going to be going for that 1-stop, and that will hinder the 2-stoppers as well.
Yeah, we will see people going for multiple strategies. I don't think we're going to see the people going into the pits early at this point, because that's not going to work at this point. We'll see more people starting on the mediums. We will see people probably near the fronts going on to the soft tyres, because don't forget, we've got quite a few of Team Red starting at the front. And of course, we've got Alex Gillen trying to make his way through the back. And the rule is, because he got disqualified, he has to start at the back of the grid. It's only if you DNF that you can start near the front. I guess Alex didn't get the rule. I thought he did it on purpose. It looks like he didn't, Josh. That's going to be spicy, isn't it? I thought he wanted to start at the back anyway.
Yeah, and now got a lot of work to do ahead of him here at the Corniche. 20th on the grid, 19 cars in front of him, 10 of which are going to be vying for his death in this event. Yeah, it's not going to be a great time if you are Mr. Alex Gillen here. Yeah,
I think to be fair, we only said it on stream. I don't think it was communicated. It might have been. I'm not entirely sure, but. Yeah, but I think every time we reverse grid, as I just heard something in my ear, every time we reverse grids, if someone gets disqualified, they'll start at the back of the grid. Otherwise, it'll be a bit unfair that they go backwards to try and start pole or something. So yeah, that's been the rule, and not just in this event, but in Creative Series as well. So here we go. Formation lap is on. We will see the formation lap tactics, it seems, once again. 4 red cars in the top 4. And we will go for your tyre strategy as well as they make their way through a very technical circuit. The drivers, I think I would keep an eye on. Meraki and Team at Marduk at 11th and 12th. Sasso as well. Near there, that they could fight with this. Blue Fox and Fimex as well. We already got a disqualification in the formation lap. Happy stuff. Now, who do we think is going to be the one that holds their own and plays a different strategy, plays a mind game? Who would you think is going to maybe do a different strategy that we haven't seen today in terms of helping their team?
I have absolutely no idea. One thing we can see, Alex Gillen is starting on the soft compound tyres. He is going to be
Balls out.
punchy on this race start. There is also a car that hasn't left the grid yet. Oh, that might be the cars that have been reset, actually. There's 2 red cars and
There's
one blue
another
car.
one.
Yeah, 3 cars now reset to the grid. But yeah, Alex Gillen can be very, very punchy on this race start.
Yeah, I think with him starting at the back, him starting on the softs, I think he potentially done the right thing there to climb his way through. And I think it's inevitable that we could get safety cars, so he could bring him back into play a little bit potentially as well. And there could be chaos at the back. Who knows? I thought it was on purpose, but as what we heard from Marty, it wasn't. So we'll see what happens. Jakey has got to come up with a different strategy to what we saw in race 3. Yes, he was, I think, a little bit further down the grid, but he has to hold his own at the front, like we saw Concept 7 do near the front. He did a brilliant job there as we see more cars being disqualified from the formation lap. You can see, I think, one red car, I think a couple of blue cars and red cars in the background going quite slowly to make sure that the other drivers that are still on the formation lap have cold tyres. We got like 6 cars disqualified here. That is going to be just... we got traded paint here from 2-time champions. We got Karim and Alex Gillen now being disqualified there. Again, that was on purpose. And we know what Nick is doing there. He's going to drag his car up to the line. Someone's going backward. That was, I think that might have been Meraki. I don't know. It's hard to tell. But we are about to start the final race of this 10v10 event. Can Alex Gillen's team of Team Red claw their way back? Or will it go in the way of Team McMarden? We'll find out in 25 laps time as we go underway here in Jeddah. And it looks like a decent start if you're the blue cars. There's a lot of cars trying to make their way through. We've got a spinner. Fimex is out of the race already. And so is Dark Viper has had a bit of a spin, which makes the job of the Team Red cars even harder. They need to get all their cars in the top 10 now. This is a disaster if you're red. Concept 7 is out. I think that is game over.
Well, they can still draw. In fact, no, sorry, they can still win. They need all 8 of their cars in the top 10 to win this race. I don't think we actually saw any lights as the race got underway.
I thought so.
Yeah, very, very interesting start to the race. I think some of the drivers might have also gotten caught out by that one. But as it stands, Blue Team have already got 6 of their cars up into the top positions. That is really, really great stuff for them for this race. Every single time they have had a majority of their cars there. But yeah, let's see how this one plays out. We're only on lap 1 of 25, but Red Team already missing 2 of their drivers. If they lose 1 more of their drivers, then they will at best be looking for a draw here tonight.
Yeah, which I think they do not want to do. They want to get all 8 of their cars in the top 10 ideally, which means if you're a driver that usually wants to call the safety car, then you can't call the safety car, because that could mean you could draw a little bit, as Alex Gillen goes already up into P10, and on those soft tyres, he's definitely finding the grip right now. But how much long is that grip going to last? It won't last that long from experience. I think it will only last about 4 laps. And Scotty Designs, by the way, guess what? Is leading this race. Stop the count, ladies and gentlemen. He's making his way through towards turn 4, and he is doing a brilliant job to keep those red cars behind. We've got Lonnie Noble in second, Davide in third, Chris in 4th spot, and we're seeing a lot of the blue car. I think we saw Chris and Matty D making their way through as well. It's great stuff from them. Meraki up into 8th as well. I think that is great stuff from them too on lap 2. We're seeing a lot of people on the mediums. I think definitely having had a tail of it. I think, speaking of experience as well, mediums don't last very long either. I think they last 6 or 7 laps optimally. So I think we can see the hard tyre runners come into their own about lap 8 or lap 9 of this race, as they potentially get past some of the runners there, as it's so easy to hit the wall around here. Chappers makes their way past Jakey up into 6th place.
Yeah, Meraki can be eager to try and fight this one as they're side by side in towards turn 22 and 23. Switch back there from Meraki trying to tuck in and make this position work. Can he get 2 for the price of run? And 1 as they run down towards the final corner. Jakey dropping down there. Nick Flies also following through. 2 positions gained for 2 blue cars as they head in towards turn number 27. Dive there, look to the inside from Jakey. He squeezes his way back past Nick Flies. Alex Gillen on the opening lap found his way up to the top 10 already. And now as we continue on towards lap 3, could very soon be looking to make even more positions in towards turn 1. Looking now, diving to the inside, could make 3 positions in the space of 1 corner. Bold move there from Gillen, banging wheels with his teammate there, but just about getting the power down. Meraki trying to fight back here as they run down towards turn 4. There's contact and spinning around the blue car, making contact with another one as well. That guy Vince, I think that was making contact as round went. Meraki there, that is devastating news for the blue team there, and I think there was a red car potentially in the wall as well. Chaos here in Jeddah. These cars just fighting so hard, and eventually they're going to be making contact. They're going to be making mistakes. As it stands though, there are only 4 red cars in that top 10. Things are not working out for them at the moment.
And with Davide getting that penalty, that's not good either. I believe it was 3 seconds, or it might be 10. I'm not entirely sure, but answer on the postcard, yeah, it was 3 seconds. That won't get removed. That will get added to the end of this race. And if there's a safety car at the end, it will not help their team at all, as Nick Flies and Matty D are almost switching positions there. Karim 70 has got past Jakey, so Jakey not having the best of things when they're trying to defend 4 positions right now. But Alex Gillen looks like he could get another position very soon, but maybe he might be on the expenses of Jakey on that one. You can see though the team blue car trying to fight with a team red car. That's that guy Vince found the outside in towards turn 27. He's still got to get the DRS, I believe, of a Karim 70, so they could switch positions of each other. Don't forget, the Blues are under less pressure at this point. They just need 4 cars in the top 10 in order to clinch this one outright. That is it. They could do exactly the same as what they did in the last 3 races, and they could come out on top. And I think they're doing all the right things. They've got 6 cars in the top 10. That's more than enough to stand a chance of them winning this overall. And if they do tie, I don't know what we'll be doing. So let's hope we don't get through there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that scenario has been thought of. There's obviously going to be some ideas, but there, why going TM, was that? Oh no, sorry, that was a bit further back. King Cryptic. Gillen as well, also going off the track as we head in towards turn 13. Meraki and Dark Viper side by side. Meraki on a charge back through the field, looking to try and regain those positions. But yeah, quite a few drivers not having the best of starts to their race. And I think Gillen's starting to struggle on those soft compound tyres. Here comes Meraki around the outside in towards 15. That is a brave move. Goes wide off the track. Gillen has to cut the corner as well. That's going to allow King Cryptic an opportunity, I think, although he might be a bit further up the road. Dark Viper behind, also gaining in on this battle as we head now down towards 22 and 23. Here comes Gillen to the outside, not giving anything here for Meraki. Both go off the track once again. Dark Viper squeezes his way through, as does Blue Fox. Gillen just could not get the car stopped in time.
Nope, he couldn't, so that means he's dropped down into 18th spot at the moment, which means I think the soft tyres, they're giving up the ghost. I did say it was around about that point that the softs would pretty much wear out very quickly, and that will allow the medium runners to potentially gain a bit more ground on Alex Gillen. So I think Alex, I won't be surprised if he comes in to the pit box, which I believe he is, and he's probably going to change on to a set of the medium or even the hard compound tyres. So it will be a 2-stop strategy for him, and yes, he did get front wing damage. So on this car, he's got a lot of work to do. It's a 2-stop strategy at the moment, and the walls are quite easy to hit around it. Any one of those drivers could make a mistake, so who knows, he could be brought back into this with a safety car, but that could hinder the ones who have got penalties, because we've already got 2 red cars out of this one. But we got Scotty Designs, by the way, leading this race. Probably not some team games being played yet, but I think we're going to watch it as it unfolds towards the end of this one, once we know who's where and what people need to do at this point, because it's a long race. They can't afford to make too many mistakes now, because that could be game over for them.
Yeah, I think ultimately this is just going to be a waiting game as they make their way through this one. These first 10 or so laps not really going to mean too much in the grand scheme of things, as long as you can keep your car in one piece, keep it in control and keep it out of the walls. As everything plays out later on in the race, that is where things will change. Timing your pit stops to perfection to give yourself the best tyres at the end of the race. Of course, the car is going to be cutting right over to that white line, shortening the distance as they run down towards turn 1. They're not coming into the pit lane just yet. Little bit too early on for that one. We did also see Alex Gillen getting served by the blue team's pit crew, so it's nice to see that they're still helping each other out even off the track. But yes, position swapping, still that guy Vince through on Chappers up into 8th position now as it stands. Only 3 cars in the top 10 for the red team. They really need to start making a move on here. They've got to try and do something if they want to make this run.
I think I just saw a red car had a bit of a moment. I might be wrong, but never mind. It was just my imagination. It was probably someone letting a driver through. Never mind. I was panicking then because I was hoping a red car would be in trouble because I want things to be close. And speaking of red cars, I think I just commentators cursed them. Sorry, everyone. Jakey's got a penalty, which means that we got 2 red cards that got 3-second time penalties. So the red car has had a moment, which is not ideal, but I think that was Davide that's dropped positions now. So that is 2 blue cars in the top 3 now, which is definitely what they would have wanted. And biggest gainers, by the way, Nick Flies up 12 places, Karim 70 up 3 places, Matty D13 looks like he was going to gain another, but Chappers was like, see you later, my friend, and he gains that position back. I think for some of the red team cars, if they know they can't gain too many points, it could be just be glory point at this point, but it is a long way to go on this one. And it's going to be, I think, lap 12 or 13 where we'll see the medium runners come in for Seb, the hard compounded tyres, as through Matty D13 goes again on Chappers up into 8th place. And switching positions goes to the blue cars. Well, they got nothing to lose at this point. They're going to lose out so much if they fight each other. Kareem has passed Nick Flies up into 5th.
Yeah, swapping positions for those minor points positions as well. Not minor points positions, it's only points to P10 in this event. Blue Fox, Jakey and King Cryptive all battling away right down to the back end of the field. This is Chappers under pressure now from Team at Marduk as they make their way through the first sector. Gillen on the hard compo tyres, setting the fastest lap of the race, so he's showing he's got the pace after that pit stop. Is he going to the end? Is he going for that 2-stop? I'm not exactly too sure. We'll have to wait and see how all of that plays out. Karim making his way through on Davide up at the front. Another blue car very soon going to be making an overtake. Is going to be this one we're watching here. Team at Marduk getting close into 13. Once again going to get close as we head our way through 15. Got to set up the exit, give himself the run towards turn 22, and there might be an opportunity, but then the next time they hit the brakes.
Yeah. This could be the opportunity that Ben is looking for. Obviously, Team at Marduk and Sapsa have been teammates for many seasons in the Created Series, but they're rivals today. Almost hitting the wall goes Benjamin Daly there, but luckily he's just avoided that. But the red cars can't afford to hit each other into the wall. They got to keep themselves on the road, because otherwise it could be game over for them. But looks like they're A-OK at the moment. They can't go for ambitious moves at this point. Maybe they potentially will have to wait at the end. Scotty Designs, by the way, has been passed by Lonnie Neb. I believe Scotty Designs, I thought he was going to pit. No, he's not. They're going side by side. You can't afford to fight too much, but that's going to help Chris to try and close in as well. So maybe Scotty Designs is parking the bus. Yes, he is parking the bus, and he's cutting the corner. He's got 3 seconds. He doesn't care at this point. The blue team has got nothing to lose at the moment, but they can't afford to lose out on too many cars, as Lonnie Nova in second, Chris is right on the back of this in third.
Yeah, these guys starting to close in. That 3-second time penalty not going to cost them too much as it stands, but as we have said, if we see safety cars, the 3-second time penalties could come into play later on. Ricky 03 gaining on the back of Saf, so there's quite a few cars there. Meraki fighting with Chappers in that pack of cars as well to the inside. Chappers trying to defend, there's contact there just as they get caught up on the apex. Meraki able to hold on to the position, though, hold on to the car, crucially for him as well. And now he continues on his charge back to the top 10. Currently in P12, 2 more cars, and that will make it 8 of the blue team in the top 10, and only 2, Davide and Lonanova, the remaining 2 red cars in that top 10. Things really not going their way in the coronation, slowing down. That's Alex Gillen, I think, had an off down at the Banks turn 13, or maybe just slowing down for a safety car. Unsure what the case is, but he has got Gutpack going once again. No damage on the car for him, so might have just been a bit of a wobble there for Alex Gillen. TM at Marduk also applying some pressure around the outside. Big brave move from TM at Marduk as they make their way through the final corner. A bit of a wobble from Davide there as he makes his way. No, he doesn't. I thought he was coming into the pit lane just for a brief moment there. Gets that position done. Vince follows through as well. So then we've got yellow flags out further up the road. I think somebody might have had a bit of an off.
Yeah, I think it was a phantom yellow because I think they must have got their car going again. So I think they're okay, but they might have got damage. It looks like one of the red cars was going to be very brave into turn 4 there, but I think luckily they're probably going to be smart and just stay behind for now, because if you make one small mistake, that could end your team's chances. And again, do not go for ambitious moves just yet. It's going to be early days yet, but it looks like it will go the way of Team Blue. We still got pit stops to be made from a lot of our drivers. Alex Gillen, don't forget, has come into the pit lane a few laps ago, but he's opted for the 2-stop strategy, as we're seeing Safso being passed by Meraki, but he's got stuck in a blue team sandwich, which is definitely not what you want to be right now, knowing that your team has got to score quite a lot of points in order to potentially stay in this one. Of course, you need to get 8 of your cars in the top 10 to be winning by 1 point, as Meraki has got past Ricky O'Free into 10th place. This is crucial at this point, because the more blue cars you can get in the top 10, the more that you can stop the red cars from drawing at this point. That's going to be, I think, the key point. The second gap, by the way, Scotty Designs and Lonnie Nova, but Lonnie Nova is the net race lead on this race, because Scotty Designs has got that penalty. And look at the train of cars in towards turn 27. They're switching positions left, right and centre, as we got one of the red cars coming in, and we see another red car coming into the pits.
Yeah, well, here we go down towards turn 1, 2 wide, nearly 3 wide just for a brief moment. There are a couple cars. Lolanova is one of those into the pit lane and backing up here. Dark Viper GT trying to close in here, trying to make some positions, as Meraki parking the bus, allowing him to find his way through side by side there as well. So they make their way in towards turn 4. That would be Ricky and Matty battling away, I think, or maybe Safso as well getting in on that one. These guys all fighting away as they make their way through the first sector here. Really tricky, tight section. You do not want to spend too long side by side as you make your way through here. But as it stands, the top 8 drivers are all on the blue team. It is very much domination here at the Corniche for the blue team right now. Just keeping an eye on Alex Gillen as well, who did make that pit stop earlier on in the race, despite having the time for the undercut. I think that mistake he had down at turn 13, he is now 5 seconds off the back of Chappers. It very much seems that Alex Gillen is in for a world of pain here.
Yep, he's down at 18th, and he's realising that his team is not doing very well either, which is not helping. You would want to have 8 of your cars into the top 10, not 8 of your rivals' cars. They got to think smarter. They got to think differently at this point. Yes, they've got about 16 laps to go, but with 2 of your cars out of the race and majority of your cars outside the top 10, maybe your strategy just not working a little bit. You've got to play different roles within your team now. Yes, you might have planned a strategy at the start of the race, but it's got to be different. As, well, that's not good if your team blue. Chris getting a 10-second penalty with a severe collision there, but he comes into the pit lane. I think it must be the collision in the pit. So that's probably given some hope if your team red, but again, you'll still need to get more cars in the top 10 in order to stand a chance. But Chris down in 11th place now. He's the next leader on the blue cars, but the net race leader is Lonnie Nova.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see now where Scotty comes out, because he was fighting with Lonnie Nova in the opening part of this race, whether he's going to be anywhere near at all, because obviously Chris has come out quite a considerable distance behind the red team driver. Ricky O3 here, currently the lead red team driver before the pit stops have been made, in P6 at the moment. Still 5 blue team drivers ahead of him, which is enough for them to secure the victory. But of course, things are going to change around as we make our way through. Matty D, the only driver who has made a pit stop other than behind Lolanova, who is behind a red team driver. So pretty much everything going perfectly for the blue team at the moment, as we are approaching half race distance. Very soon, I think we're going to see quite a few more pit stops for these drivers make their way in, get themselves a fresh set of the hard compound tyres to head to the end of this race. Probably lap 11, lap 12 is the point where you want to make your pit stop, as Scotty Designs does, Karim does as well. TMF Marduk continues on up at the front of the field to lead his team, who are currently leading the way in quite a comfortable fashion.
Yes, he can breathe easy at this point. He's done the good job as a team captain so far, but they can't bottle it. We have seen big bottles before for certain team events in league racing. and we do not want Team Blue to have a huge moment, which may cost them a little bit. But we could see a comeback from Team Red a little bit. That would be great to see, wouldn't it? To get a bit of a tie going on there. But we have got the similar order to what we see, and the answer to your question on where Scotty Designs will fare. He's behind Lonnie Noba by quite some way. They were fighting for the lead, and now the gap's about 5.8 seconds. So the undercut working well if you're in Team Red right now, as I think Lonnie Noba switches positions from Ricky O3. Comfortably done from Ricky O3, as Lonnie Noba is now going to chase down on the 3 blue cars, which are doing a phenomenal job in this race. And it's going to be harder to overtake with them being a team event, because if it was an ordinary race, they'll probably be doing different strategies at this point. Don't forget, points are awarded to the top 10. Double points are awarded to the top 10, but it doesn't matter where you finish. The same points are given if you're in P1 and if you're in P10. Meanwhile, Lonnie Noba is trying to make a mincemeat of the blue team members round the outside. Nicely done for Lonnie Noba there with his 1 stop. And he is now through into P2. What can he do now to help his red team members? Yes, he's in P2, but that's not good when you got pretty much all of your red team cars near the back of the grid.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much can be added there. That is going to be the costly one. A 3-second time penalty for Noba. He effectively can't even start backing up now, because he'll start losing positions to the rest of the drivers out there as well. But yeah, really, really unfortunate stuff. Meraki and Dark Viper GT both looking to try and hold him up, but they couldn't really do it for much time at all with the DRS. It just wasn't possible. So yeah, he'll continue on his way now, start closing in on TMF Marduk. I might be able to race him on track, although I expect we're probably going to be seeing a pit stop before he catches up at all. Chapper's currently the driver in P10, but a queue of red cars following in behind him as well. They really need to get a move on, get their way through, like Chappers has done just there, get himself ahead of Nick Flies. But they've all got to start making these moves. Going to be so crucial here for Chappers. He carries that time penalty. Nick Flies in the blue livery team. They have currently got 8 of their drivers in these top positions, the points paying positions, and that is going to be the crucial thing here, as we have crossed half race distance now. 3 drivers left to pit for the blue team. That is going to be interesting once it does play out.
That is a shock, because I think in the last few races, it was, I think, a few of the red cars that are still yet to pit. So different strategies, I think, if you're team at Marduk or Meraki, but you can go a bit more of an ambitious strategy because you've got the most points at this stage. Maybe you could try and stay out to make sure the ones who have stopped close in a little bit, potentially. That's potentially what their strategy is going to be. And Chris is doing a very good job setting the fast lap of the race, but points for fastest lap doesn't mean anything in this 10v10 event, as Dark Viper, I believe, is just going to his pit stop. I believe, yes, he is. So that another one of the blue cars making their stop, so that now leaves 2 to go for stops, I believe, and then that will be it on that one. Or it might be not actually. No, he just had a little bit of an off. Never mind. So yeah, I thought he was pitting, but he had a bit of an off. But I don't think that's going to affect him too much. He's just going to try and give Chris a DRS so Chris could get past, and nicely job done there for Dark Viper there. So I thought he was going to come into the pits, but he was just helping his teammate out.
Yeah, and now we continue on. Everybody at the moment, apart from Davide on those hard compound tyres, Team at Marduk, Meraki, Dark Viper, of course, running long. They started the race on the hard compound tyres, but it's not going to be too much longer before we see that switch over to probably the medium tyres, unless they're feeling really brave and looking for a soft stint to finish this race. But they didn't seem too great on the car of Alex Gillen. So coming towards the end of lap 14, starting at lap 15 of 25. Karim still battling away with Lolanoba. Lolanoba losing 2 positions on this straight into the pit lane. Comes Meraki as well for his pit stop. Finally, I think we're probably going to see Dark Viper as well, also into the pit lane down the inside. Scotty Designs and Karim battling contact mate. That's going to catch Lolanoba, who tried to find his way around the outside. They're now running side by side with Scotty Designs. They're 3 wide just for a brief moment as they headed towards turn 4, deciding to back out of that one. Do not want to get caught up in this, but this is great teamwork here from Scotty Designs and Karim, backing Lolanoba up, not letting him use his tyres. He's actually lost time to TM at Marduk over these past few laps. Here comes Chappers as well. Nick Flies now under some pressure battling away. 3 red cars on the back of him as they make their way through the first sector, briefly running side by side. In the end, Chappers has to concede the position and wait for the DRS to come.
Where is his teamwork from the red team earlier on? They're doing a great job at the moment with those 3 cars, but now that one of the blue cars is passed, maybe it could be a recipe of disaster. Alex Gillen, by the way, up into 11th spot as he climbs his way into the top 10, but I do believe he's still got to stop one more time because don't forget he was on those soft. Those hards won't make it last, but we know Alex Gillen, he could be the tyre whisperer at the best of times, so we can try and maybe stretch those hard tyres to the end of this race, or maybe he could potentially hope for something to spoil the party a bit and maybe go for a bit of soft tyres. But the danger is, if someone calls a safety car, that could hinder the red team with the amount of penalties. Chappers 3 seconds, Lolly Nova 3 seconds, Jakey 3 seconds, Davide 6 seconds, 4 out of the 8 cars available in red team red have got penalties, so nobody in team red could call the safety car because it can hinder them a little bit. Yellow flag, I wonder who that's for. That was just, I think someone had a bit of an office. Lolly Nova, by the way, is being past Chris. Yeah, it was Lolly Nova that had that yellow flag, so he's lost position. Karim 17 now gained position. Oh, Lolly Nova almost had a moment. That could have been a disaster there. That could have been a tie for the red team if he was not careful, but luckily it wasn't. All 8 cars that are remaining in the red team are still available.
Yeah, Matty D, a 3-second time penalty going his way now, as well as Dark Viper also getting past him. There's Vince trying to find his way past Lolly Nova, who seems to be struggling on his tyres, let's say. 3-second time penalty as well, I think. Very much starting to get into his head. A lot of time loss it has been here. Scotty Designs and Karim closing in a lot on TM Marduk up out the front of the field. TM Marduk, of course, still yet to make that pit stop, but he should be in a decent position when he does come out. He's going to have so much fresher tyres, and yeah, I think he's going to be in with a great shot to fight back later on in this race. Vince almost pushing Lolly Nova through that chicane there as Karim and Scotty once again swap positions. Safso through on Nick flies up into P9 now. Gillen could be getting himself into the top 10 yet still, and finding another position for Team Red. Things might not be over just yet, although they might be running a little bit short of cars to try and make this one work.
And speaking of Team Blue, they're coming into the pit lane with one of their few final drivers, with Team Marduk. So he's going to come into the pit. I would assume he'll be a set up the mediums, or it could be the soft compounder tyres. We'll see as he climbs his way out. As we got a yellow flag in turn 27. That's a blue car that's stopped. That is Matty D that's had a bit of a moment. Luckily, no safety car though. But I will not be surprised if he does one final stop, because his tyres must be absolutely cooked right now if you're Matty D. And yes, he does come into the pits as I would have predicted. Jakey, though, getting another penalty, and Matty D, unfortunately, calls it a day. But to be fair, Blue has got the least to lose at this point. You only need 4 cars in the top 10. So for Matty D, it's not too bad.
I'm not sure who it is, but there is a red car. I saw them pulled over in the first sector. You can see on the track map, there's a red car stopped at turn 6. I don't know who that is. It might be Davide, but somebody is not moving at the moment on the red team, whether that's a retired car or not. I have no idea.
I think it was a retired car. It's been like that for like the whole race so far, I've noticed.
I just saw it in the back of one of the trucks. You can see them there. There is somebody pulled over there. But yeah, I think that is one of the retired cars stopped there. But yeah, now 1 blue car gone from the race. 2 red cars gone from the race. Things starting to even out a little bit, but the red team still need to get all their cars up into that top 10. Jakey having an off there coming out of turn 16. Not great for him. And yeah, as it stands, they need all but one of their cars into the top 10 for at least the chances there through turn 1. Contact being made. Lolly Nova trying to fight back against that guy. Vince once again trying to find that position back, but couldn't make it in towards the first corner.
Yeah, if you were Jakey, you just probably figure to yourself, keep it on the road, because if Jakey bins it, any chances of winning it have probably gone down to 0. So I think for all the red cars, they're thinking, just don't bin it. Just don't bin it at this point. And again, they've still got to work together at this point. We're on the final few laps. Well, the final few moments of this race. Jakey's out. Jakey's out of the race. he's probably hasn't realised what he's done. Davide's done the same as well. I wonder if Davide's trying to cause a safety car.
There's more red cars stopping as well, turn 13. They're all just going to commit to the safety car, I think, at this point. It's their only chance. Because they didn't have the cars, I guess. I don't know what the plan is here. They're trying to cause the safety car. Their only chance to draw now is to get that safety car. But Davide disqualified, and that will hand the victory to the blue team. That well and truly secures it. The red team no longer have enough cars to get into the top 10 to even get a draw here. So unfortunately, things are going to get called 7 laps short of the end of this race. Blue team have well and truly secured this one now.
I wonder if it's going to be the glory points at this point, Josh. I don't think Davide realised what he has done. Yeah, I think the tactic was to stop to call the safety car, but you can't stop for that long. Surely you must know when to stop, and unfortunately he stopped for longer than intended. So no matter what the red team do now, your 10 versus 10 champion will be the Team Blue cars of Team Marduk. They could play it safe at this point. They could cause chaos at this point. They could have all 9 of their cars retire from this race, and they could still win this one. So they're gonna have a little bit of fun to end this one. As Alex comes into the pits, he wants to have a little bit of fun too for the final few moments of this race.
I guess we haven't really thought of the scenario of what if less than 10 people finish this race, because they only need 4 drivers in the top 10 if for red team this is 4 drivers in the top 10 to tie it if blue team have no people in the top 10. If all the blue teams somehow manage to retire from this race in the final laps, I'm not going to give any suggestions as to how that could possibly happen.
Don't.
But red team, I guess, could still technically come back into this one. It's a possibility. Who knows what could happen in these final few laps.
There's 6 cars. That's not gonna. That's good tactics that you're suggesting, but I think it's probably not going to work. As we are seeing Team Armada getting past Lonnie No, but I think we're going to see less of the team games at this point. And our producer has just checked if safety car is on. It is on. So I was surprised that them stopping on the track did not score the safety car. We could have had a safety car moment there, but I think there might have been a bit of damage if they're not careful, but I think they got away with that.
Yeah, very nearly a disastrous moment as Nick Blythe comes into the pit lane. We continue on. Alex Gillen on a fresh set of mediums. He's 29 points off the back as Lolinoba has retired. That's a crash in the first sector, I think. He's out of this race. So now the red team down to just 5 runners, and they are very much running out of opportunities for it to be mathematically possible now. They would need all but one of the blue team to retire at this stage, which, considering they've got 9 of their cars still running and only a couple more laps before they would be classified, I think the possibility of that is pretty much 0, and it is just going to be a race to the finish between Karim and Scotty. Although Scotty does have that penalty, he's of course going to want to win this one on the track.
He does. We've not seen him near the front before, and he's been fighting near the front for all this race. And just let him have this one on track. Please, everyone else gets a penalty to let Scotty win this race, okay? Just for the fun. Team Blue, you had your win now. Now let Scotty Designs win this race for a bit, but only joking, of course. I don't want to influence race wins here. As it looks like Ricky O'Free had a bit of a moment in the background, but I think they're okay at the moment. As just because the results have been decided, that doesn't mean the team games can't continue. The team games are still continuing. I think having a little bit of weaving between both of the red cars to stop the blue cars as they had a bit of a moment heading towards turn 2. One of the red cars almost hit the wall.
Yeah, a bit of wheel banging as they headed down the straights. That could have been a disaster of a crash there, but fortunately they continue on their way. Ricky O'Free and Sasso continue this battle on. Meraki, the one who currently leads this train in P6. It's currently a blue team 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out the front of this field. There is some damage on Ricky's car. There is almost getting out of shape there. Dark Viper GT nearly ended up in the barriers there. That could have been disastrous. Again, contact between the pair of them as they head in towards turn 13. Things are starting to get a little bit violent between Meraki and Ricky as here comes Sasso squeezing his way through as well. Wheel to wheel now with Meraki as they head in towards the chicane, backing out of that one, but just going to continue on his way. Sasso still in the slipstream, tucking up right behind Meraki. Could be closing in with some slipstream, with some DRS and some ERS as well, and thinking about a move to try and take that P6 position.
Yes, this is now biking stuff as we head to the final few laps of this one. This could be made history. Yes, the results are all said and done, but they want to have some fighting. They want to have a laugh for the final few laps and have nothing to lose. They could go for a while, believe it or not, in towards turn 27, but they're not going to. We got 2 blue cars versus 3 red cars. Ours on a postcard on who's going to come out on top for that one. We got Sasso, Ricky, we got Chappers in there as well, and we got Dark Viper and Meraki. Look at Team Blue being a roadblock there, but we got one of the red cars trying to get past. Through they go in towards turn 2. I believe that was Sasso getting past there. I think it was Sasso passing Ricky 03 there for a bit of tactics. He's going to try and get past Meraki in an audacious situation, but it's going to be difficult, so he's going to wait until he's on the straight.
Yeah, well, let's see now. Once again, another slide coming out of that corner. Through turn 11, that corner is such a tricky one for the drivers with the rear end of the car just wanting to step away. It's not working out too well for them. Lap 22 of 25 now. And the top 7 all blue team. I mean, it is utter domination in this one. Before, they've had 7 cars in the top 10 in race 1, 6 in race 2, 6 in race 3. This time around, they've got the entire top 7 under control. Yeah, it's utter domination. Here comes Sasso once again on Meraki, finds his way through this time around up into P7. Gonna set his sights after Dark Viper GT as well, 0.7 of a second the gap. Gonna try and close it in. The DRS running a bit wide there though. It doesn't look like there's any damage on his car though.
No damage thus far. I was surprised, to be honest. So it only took about 10 or 15 laps to have like a flurry of retirements after Concept and Femex at the moment, and we could get another one here as I potentially could commentate as Curse, but luckily that's not going to happen in this race as we got 3 laps to go. Karim 70 leads from Scotty Designs, Team Marduk in 3rd and Chris in 4th, but Team Marduk will probably be promoted to 2nd. Actually, no, he won't, 'cause the gap is 7.6 seconds, so never mind. And that's Meraki that had a bit of a moment in P10, and also Blue Fox as well, so they lost a bit of ground. I think if people are trying to call the safety car now, I think it'll be a bit too late, because we only have about 3 laps to go.
Yeah, Dark Viper GT also picking up a time penalty that will promote Sasso and Ricky up a couple of positions as well. Meraki does now drop outside the top 10, so that puts 4 of the red cars into the top 10. Still not going to be enough, and the only driver in the red team who is currently outside the top 10 at the moment is Alex Gillen. I'm just wondering, was there a puncture for Meraki potentially? I'm not sure why he would be going so slowly still. I'm just looking to see. Doesn't look like it. He is just driving at a slow pace. Maybe to slow down, have a bit of a battle with Nick Flies, King Cryptic, and Alex Gillen as well. But yeah, we're coming towards the end of this race.
He ran out of fuel.
I highly doubt he would have run out over 2 laps before the end of the race. That would be very, very unfortunate.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't run out of fuel. It's not on the red. He's going slow on purpose. Yeah. I was just checking. As Scotty Designs, by the way, has passed Karim 17 for the lead. We could dream, but Kareem will need to slow down by 6 seconds for Scotty Designs to win on track, but that's not going to happen. As I think it was that guy. No, Dark Viper had a bit of a slide there coming out of turn 1 that might cost their tyres a little bit. Don't forget, at this point, the tyres would have started to give up the ghost here because they would have done the one-stop races. What's happened to Karim there? That'll be too late for a safety car, though.
Well, this changes things in the fight for the victory, at least. We've got Alex Gillen coming in to fight with Tiamat Marduk. Scotty Designs has 6 seconds of penalty, 6.6 seconds clear. This could change things, because now we're going to be seeing cars battling in our lead fight. Maybe going to go hold Tiamat Marduk up potentially. Here we go down towards 22 and 23. Gillen to the inside on Nick Flies, trying to find his way through all the way to the wall. They're going to make contact, and into the wall goes Alex Gillen out of the race, ending this tournament in spectacular fashion. His team fought hard, but in the end, blue team are going to be taking this one, and he will have to cry in the barriers to finish this one off. Scotty Designs, 8.5 seconds clear to start the final lap of this race. He carries 6 seconds of penalties. to take potentially what could be his first win in a Creator Series event. Things ending in dramatic
But it doesn't count in points. It doesn't count in points. It doesn't count in the stats. Because it's a team event. It's not in individual. So, and I can confirm that winners will get 25 points, everybody. Only joking. Wow, what a race we have seen so far. What an event we have seen so far. Unfortunately, it came to a premature end for the red team, but it's not stopping the blues and the reds having a lot of fun in the final race for the fight for the podium positions. And with penalties left, right and centre, things could change quite a bit here. And Kareem did retire, I think, from the last lap there, but that is a bit unfortunate. But at least majority of the blue cars are still in this one and can celebrate the win in style. I can see what Team Marduk is doing. I think he's gonna let Scotty Designs have this one, which I think fair play to him. I thought Team Marduk would have won this one because it is Team won this event, but hopefully Scotty Designs doesn't cut another corner. But with just a few more corners to go, I think Team Blue are going to probably try and run in formation here. They have dominated this event from start to finish. Scotty can live a dream. He wins the Creator Series race, but the entirety of the blue team that are still left in this one are going to go in nose-to-tail formation. They have done it. Your winners of 10v10. It is Team Blue. It is Team Marduk. They can go with their heads held high with celebration. Their strategy worked perfectly today. They have won by quite a considerable margin. We'll get your point in a minute, but Team Blue have done it, Josh.
Yeah, incredible stuff. The rest of the cars just making their way up towards the line. Everybody going to come across and take their points. But yeah, what an event we've seen here tonight.
I'm just amazed about the tactics that we had. The race one at the end where all cars stopped like it was a race for 10. Still we had people holding each other up. Vegas, there was a bit of a chaos in there as well, and things got a bit bare at times when we knew what the result was, but they still had a little bit of fun there. So the points have been calculated, so we'll get the results for you soon. And here are the final results. And wow, look at that. 31 points for Team Blue to 19 of Team Red. They are the class of the field, and they are your winners of our first 10 versus 10 event. Incredible stuff.
Yeah, and it all started from that first race. They had the momentum, they had the strategy figured out. 7-3 was that first race, and then every single race after that, they had the majority. They had 6 cars of the 10 in the top 10, and yeah, it just worked out for them. Extended their margin after every race, 31-19, 11 points is the margin by the time we get to the end of this. Sorry, 12 points, I can't count. But yeah, incredible stuff there for Team at Marduk. Hopefully we will be able to talk to our two team captains at some point as well. But yeah, really incredible, and great job from all the drivers.
And thanks to all the drivers for taking part, of course, because it was one of those events where you're not really rated for yourself, you're rated for a team, and you just have a bit of fun nonetheless. I can't imagine what the VC would have been like every time as well, with the amount of strategies going on. And I'm almost certain there'll be clips of it on TikTok or anything that you can go and have a watch. But I think it was a pressure with the red team. Yes, they lost some points in race 1, but they didn't think about what they were going to do with race 2 and race 3, pretty much. Yes, they tried their best, but race 4 was what come undone because, yes, they tried to cause a safety car, but they didn't think them stopping on the track too long would cause one of their team to disqualify themselves from the session, which ended their chance of getting some decent points. But to be fair, Team Blue dominated anyway. Team Red would have needed a miracle. I was surprised we only had... I don't think we had any safety cars did we in Jeddah. I think we had none at all, which was unexpected with a track as this chaotic.
Yeah, I think that was probably one of the bigger surprises to come out of that one. Although I think we do often see, time to time, some tracks tend to give you less safety cars. Just by nature, they kind of reduce it so that you don't have a safety car every single corner. But yeah, it was incredible stuff to see. We had racing from lights to flag in the end, and great battles throughout that one as well. It was really great to watch, and for all of the races as well. Even when we had those safety cars, it gave us great battling all the way through.
Yeah, and hopefully hopefully we can get the top two for Josh to interview very, very soon, because I would be interested to hear about the strategies both of the teams would have gone to, and how maybe the two team captains have picked the teams as well. And don't forget, with Dark Viper, he only got roped in, I think, 15 minutes before, and he's still on the winning team and still managing to play the team game here. I think one of the successes could be down to the team captain maybe communicate on the strategy there.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one to see what the thoughts were. Maybe there were some hidden tactics that we didn't get to see. But let's have a talk with Scotty Designs, our race winner from that final race. Scotty, you must be feeling really, really happy after that one. I mean, race victory. How was it?
I am elated. I'm over the moon. Obviously, it's a red versus blue. You know, it's a little bit less serious, but I'm taking it regardless. Really good event today.
Yeah, so, I mean, just talk it through. From the beginning, of course, your team coming away with the victory. You had a P1, you had a P2. Were there any plans heading into this one, or were you just kind of going and winging it? Did you discuss anything before the event?
I kind of told everybody, if I can get the good start, I'm just disappearing. And that's kind of what I was aiming to do. Obviously, Lolly kind of kept me honest for a long time, got penalties, which kind of messed that up as well. But the start lights being off so quick just gave me the jump on like 3 cars and got me up, I think it was at P2 out of turn 1. And then it was just a case of trying to go as quickly as possible. Once Krim caught up, just let him kind of tow me along, you know, just do the hard work for me.
Yeah, were there any thoughts strategically as to what you can do? Were you kind of just following the pack? We saw a lot of people starting on the hards and heading to the mediums, medium hard, and potential 2 stops being thought about as well. Were you kind of dead set on your strategy by the time you started the race, or were you kind of a bit more flexible, ready to change up depending on what the others did?
Honestly, I was panicking so much, I was asking everybody in chat what I should do. When can I pit? Basically asking for permission to pit from P1. I had no idea what I was doing out there. I was just driving and hoping to survive, and I did. Barely.
Yeah. Any questions from you, Jess?
I have to say congratulations once again on finally getting a victory there as well. In the history books there as well. Do you think we could see something like that maybe next season to try and get your way at the front, or are you just gonna be near the back all the whole time?
I think, given the track, given the conditions, I'll still end up in the wall by the end of the race.
Boom. And can we position getting Scotty Designs 25 points and a stat added to the Creator Series, but for him getting a win, please? That'll be fun.
I think that needs to happen.
We got a denied from our producer. That's a bit unfortunate there, but there we go. That is my questions all done, Josh.
Yep. And as has been tradition occasionally in the past, since you've got your first win here in the Creator Series event, I'm going to offer you the chance to sing, I don't know if there is a Scottish national anthem, but if you would like to, take it away.
Do it!
Oh, flag of Scotland, when will we see your light again? That's as far as I can remember it.
Well, that was incredible, Scotty. Congratulations on the win here tonight, not just in the final race, but for Team Blue as well. Really, really great job for yourself here tonight. And yeah, massive congratulations.
Team Blue on top.
Yes. So we got Scotty Designs winning. I don't think we can get Team McMurdoch in right now, unless he could join in the interview rating room very quickly. But summing up this event, it was just for people to have to let their hair down for one final event, hopefully before the DLC comes, which if we still don't know when the DLC is going to come, and just forget about competitive racing and just try and have a bit of fun for the content.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great watch. We saw plenty of great action, plenty of racing, plenty of funny moments as well with probably, I think if we look back to Spa, we had like 10 cars coming across the line within the space of about a second. They were 5 wide coming out of the final corner. It was incredible stuff that we've seen here tonight. I think all the drivers have really enjoyed this one. It's been a great pleasure to watch as well.
And it's been a pleasure to cover it as well. And we hope you enjoyed it as well. Of course, we've got plenty of events still to come in the Created Series. Keep an eye on our socials at the top there on our Instagram and Twitter in particular to find out when our next event is going to be taking place. Of course, when we know when the DLC is going to come out, we would communicate more as to when the new season is going to start and when we will have special social races as well. So make sure you follow them on social. Of course, thank you to our title sponsor, EA Sports, as well. And of course, thank you to Gareth Allen, the producer behind the scenes, for making this all happen with the event organising and stuff like that as well, and doing a lot of the cameras and the lobby hosting in the background. There's quite a lot of things that he's done in the background. Josh, thank you to you as well. Where can we find you on the good old socials?
Yeah, my Twitch, it's chocolate, and I've just thought about it. I have started posting some reels on Instagram, and I can't for the life of me think what it is. Let me find it really quickly. _J.Richards24. I'm occasionally posting some clips from my commentary over there.
Yeah, make sure you check it out because he does some great stuff over there as well. And if you want to check out me, I'm pretty much everywhere on most socials, apart from Blue Sky, because I don't use it anymore. At JessGames95 on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, and X. So check me out there, and you can check out the socials there as well. So we come to the end of this event, and there's only one winner, and that is Team Blue with Team McMurdoch at the helm. Congratulations to them. We will see you next time for another Created Series stream. And for myself and Josh, have a good evening, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.